This is SCP-942, better known as blood candy. Let's do this, guys.
On a gray morning, its wood damp from the mist that clung to the streets.
Don't open it.
Do it! The old shopkeeper dragged it inside.
Don't do it.
Under his breath. Business had been slow.
Send it back to Walmart.
By a thread. Maybe this was some promotional miracle, or a mistake.
A mistake.
It groaned as it opened, nails straining against the wood. Inside sat a vending machine, like nothing he'd ever seen.
Ooh.
Mechanical and polished to a gleam, it had a presence that felt wrong. The glass dome at the top revealed rows of perfectly round candies, their colors so vibrant they seemed to glow. He tilted the machine slightly, spotting words engraved on the underside.
All right, guys, so that thing shows up at your front doorstep. Comment down below what you're doing. Personally, I'll be honest, I would open it. Sometimes I get Amazon packages that are for like my neighbor, and then I just get so excited by a package showing up at my door because it's like Christmas morning all over again. So I end up opening it anyway. And if I already do that with my neighbor's packages, I would probably do it with this as well. And then if it was candy, well, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I think I would probably eat the candy. As much as you're not supposed to eat random stranger candy, I think I would do it. But yeah, comment down below what you guys would do. Don't do it, though, if it actually happens.
Try something different today. Sweet and candy red.
Candy red? Is that red 40? Red 40 bad.
This stuff.
Causes autism.
Still, desperate times. He dusted off a corner near the front window and set the machine there. Its coin slot caught the light, winking at him like it knew something he didn't.
What?
The old man stared at it for a moment before fishing a coin from his pocket. One little test couldn't hurt.
Oh, oh.
The coin clinked as it
Famous
slid.
last words.
He pulled the lever, and the machine whirred mechanically, spitting out a single candy into the tray below. It was perfect, round, red, and faintly glistening.
What kind of
He
candy?
rolled it in his palm before popping it into his mouth.
Is it like a
Flavor
chocolate?
hit him like a revelation.
Or like a jelly bean?
Bloomed on his tongue, bright and irresistible.
Jawbreaker?
It was like every childhood memory condensed into
What is this candy? Bro has no idea, but he just took every drug combined into one. And there's also some silly juice in the center. So bro is high as a kite right now, and he has no idea.
Moment. He forgot the world, forgot the bills, forgot the empty streets outside.
What the heck?
Then it turned.
His hair grew back.
Soured, twisting into something sharp and metallic.
Oh.
His tongue burned, his throat tightening as if a fist had gripped it. His vision blurred.
Oh my God.
Tilting wildly around him. A pressure built in his chest, and his heart thudded like it was trying to escape. The whispers came next, soft at first, then getting louder. They skittered around his mind.
Yo!
His hands trembled, and he clawed at his shirt as though it might stop the suffocating
Yo,
weight
what is going on?
Then came the blood.
The what?
First, he dismissed the darkness under his arms, thinking it was sweat from the pain.
Oh my God, what?
When he pulled his trembling hand away
He's
from his
bleeding
shirt,
from his
it was
pits!
slick and red.
He's bleeding from his armpits!
Felt like it.
Oh my God.
Down.
Bro.
Crimson stains seeped through his sleeves, pooling in the folds of his armpits. Sticky wetness spread to his toes, soaking his socks and dripping onto the wooden floor.
Oh my God!
He whispered.
Oh
his
my
voice shaking.
Jesus! Sweet baby Jesus!
The old man stumbled toward the mirror behind the counter, catching his
Oh, okay.
bloodshot eyes stared back at him.
Call a
veins
doctor.
bulging And red tears streaming down his face.
Maybe eat another candy?
A trail of red trickled from his nose, dripping onto the counter. The sight twisted his stomach, and he nearly collapsed as the whispers in his head grew
The
louder.
whispers?
His breath
What are
came
the
in short,
whispers?
sharp gasps. He tried to wipe the blood away.
Oh man!
Ah! On his pale skin.
This is my worst nightmare,
His legs gave
SCP.
out
Come
and
true.
fell behind the counter, the whispers rising to a deafening roar in his ears. He stumbled backward, crashing into the shelves behind the counter. Glass jars rattled and fell, the sound barely registering. His knees buckled, and he collapsed onto the floor,
my
gasping
God.
for air as the whispers rose to a crescendo. Cold sweat dripped down his back, pooling around him as his body shook uncontrollably. The machine stood silent, its
Well,
polished
yeah.
surface reflecting the shopkeeper's pale, horrified face. Hours passed before the shopkeeper.
Okay, guys, so we just learned a little bit about the SCP. Now, it is living up to the name of blood candy because as soon as you eat it, it basically makes your entire body start bleeding from every single spot, from your pits, from your butt, from your eyeballs. There's no stopping it, it seems. But the weird part is that it was sweet at first, and he had all of these amazing memories, and it was basically like he just did like the best drug on planet Earth and was feeling all sorts of dopamine, and he was having good memories, and it like he grew his hair back and stuff. But then as soon as he reached the center, it got really sour and also started the infection of the blood candy. So I kind of wonder, right? Let's say I knew this thing was the blood candy. What if I just did like a little, I just gave it a little lick, and then I felt good, you know, I felt like I was on cloud 9, and then I stopped. Like or better yet, guys, what if you bite into this candy? Because I do this weird thing, especially with like lollipops and sometimes jawbreakers. I will, you know, lick it for a little bit, and then I'll crunch it to get to the center. Does anybody else do that? Because I've been told that I'm a psychopath for doing that. But what if you did that with this candy? Would that also, that would probably actually just kill me. Yeah, I think I'm dead if I do that.
Stirred. He sat up slowly. His
Oh,
breath
he
shallow and
lived?
Uneven.
What?
Every inch of him screamed with exhaustion.
Oh my God.
Heart racing as though it
I
might
thought bro
burst.
was already dead.
His throat was raw, and every breath felt like swallowing shards of glass.
Ouch.
The blood had dried, crusting over his skin and clothes. The whispers had faded, but they still echoed faintly in the corners of his mind. He staggered to his feet, gripping the counter for support. His eyes darted to the candy machine in the corner, its polished surface gleaming in the dim light.
Burn it with a flamethrower.
Innocent and inviting.
No.
Mocking him.
Don't do it again,
A
dude.
sudden surge of anger jolted him into action. He grabbed a large garbage bag from behind the counter, the crinkle of the plastic loud in the stillness of the shop. With trembling hands, he approached the machine. His fingers hesitated on the glass dome containing
I wouldn't
the
even
candies.
touch that
The
thing.
whispers that had haunted him surged in his mind, spurring him forward. He yanked the dome off with a sharp pull. The
What are
glass
you
cooled
gonna
and
do?
unnervingly smooth under his fingers. It felt heavier than he'd expected, or maybe that was just the weight of the fear gnawing at him. One by one, the gumballs tumbled into the bag, their faintly shimmering surfaces catching the light as they fell in an almost hypnotic cascade.
Get rid of that
Shopkeeper tightened
silly
the bag with a
candy.
savage twist, tying it shut with a knot that his shaking hands barely managed. He marched to the alley behind the shop, each step driven by a mixture of determination and dread. The garbage bin stood there, rusting and leaning slightly to one side.
Why do I feel like something bad's gonna happen?
He threw the bag inside with more force than necessary, the gumballs rattling against the metal like sinister marbles.
Guys, I have a feeling that like other SCPs, when you try to get rid of them because they are these like mythical sentient beings, it might just come back, and or maybe the gumball machine fills up again with another whole thing of candy, and it just keeps filling up and up and up, and there's no way to actually get rid of it.
Slamming the lid shut,
Let's
he
see.
lingered for a moment, his breath coming in uneven gasps. The whispers in his mind seemed fainter now, but they weren't gone. Back inside the shop, his gaze drifted back to the machine.
Go to a doctor!
Sat on the counter.
What are you doing?
And for a moment, the temptation to destroy the machine entirely burned
You are
hot
bleeding
in his
out of your pits! Go to a
The
doctor!
wrench, its weight familiar and reassuring in his grip. He
Smash.
stopped. His knuckles turned white as he stared at the machine.
Did
His
it fill
presence
back
almost
up?
daring him to make the first move.
What?
Destroying it made things worse. What if the whispers came back stronger?
It could.
The shopkeeper set the wrench down, his hands shaking. Not yet, he whispered to himself, backing away. The machine remained, gleaming silently, patient as ever.
Just
He
throw the
spread
wrench.
His arms, smearing dried blood into his sleeves. He could still feel the whispers slithering through his thoughts.
Oh, I do
And
not
it
like
started to
this
grip
thing.
him. That night, he pulled
This is basically how I feel about Chipotle burritos, right? I am very addicted to Chipotle burritos. So any single time that I go to a Chipotle, I start hearing whispers to add guacamole and get extra cheese and get double meat. So I totally get what this guy's going through because I go through the same thing every day. So before we keep going with the video, I need to tell you guys about my brand new cookie plushies. They're super cute, squishy, and probably the softest plushie ever created. They're so soft. I love them. We have the OG chocolate chip cookie, the sprinkle cookie, and my personal favorite, the zombie cookie. If you guys are watching on a TV, grab your phone or your mom's phone or your grandma's phone and scan this QR code right here. Go ahead, I'll wait. Or you guys could head right on over to BeckBroJack.co. Okay, you guys got it? Let's get back to the video.
Bolted the shop door and hid in the back room, far from the machine's gleaming temptation. But the next morning, when he mustered the courage to unlock the shop and face the world, his heart sank. The machine was full.
I called it!
Replenished as though
oh, I'm so smart.
The polished surface seemed brighter. Its engraving. Try something different today. Sweet and candy red. Catching the light with unnerving cheer.
I swear to God, if he eats another one, I'm gonna flip.
Faint whispers as he fled to the back room. The shopkeeper's mind unraveled day by day. He barely left the back room, haunted by panic attacks and phantom voices.
What the heck?
Found him pacing, muttering under his breath, or staring blankly at the wall. You're scaring the customers, she snapped, shoving an order book into his hands. Stay here if you're going to be useless. She dismissed his warning.
Bro, why is the wife such an L? Why is she not, like, taking him to a doctor? Or, like, I don't know, hiring some sort of psychiatrist to come and see what's going on? Like, this is supposed to be your husband, not, like, you know, just the dude that's homeless that you're just watching after. This guy clearly is psychotic and needs help.
Nonsense. Overwork, she told herself. A man his age running a shop without help was bound to take a toll.
No, it's the candy. Can he not talk about it?
Drawn to its sleek design and the novelty of its candy.
Oh my God. He didn't tell anybody.
And she had no intention of getting rid of it. One sunny afternoon,
are you serious?
A young boy walked into the shop with his mother.
Wait, I'm so confused because if she's selling the candy and the guy that first ate it, the shop owner, ate the candy, I guess he can't talk about it? Just like he wasn't able to destroy it, the whispers are telling him that he can't destroy it, and maybe the whispers are telling him that he can't tell anybody what happened so that the SCP can keep selling more gumballs and then keep spreading to as many people as possible. Now, the only thing that I'm curious about is that he took one, like, suck of the ball, and then he immediately started, like, feeling all of these different feelings, and then started bleeding out of his armpits. He was bleeding from his pits. So why is that not happening to anybody else?
Barely noticed the jars of licorice or the rows of sugar sticks. His attention locked onto the vending machine. His small hands clenched his mother's skirt, his voice rising in excitement. I want that one, he said,
no, you don't.
Pointing at the machine.
Idiot.
His mother frowned.
Dummy.
I have plenty of candy at home.
Yeah, good. W mom. Oh my God, L kid.
Working harder. His voice grew louder with every protest, drawing glances from other customers. The mother sighed, digging into her purse for a coin.
No.
Fine, she said,
no.
her tone weary. She dropped
you
the coin
fool.
into his eager palm.
You numbskull.
Not eating it until after dinner. Understand?
Oh my gosh, no.
Nodded, already bounding toward the machine.
He's gonna sneak it. I already know.
And he pulled the lever with all
I would do
his
the
might.
same.
A single candy dropped into the dispenser. He plucked
He's
it out,
dead.
holding it up like a prize.
Death by candy
The
bottle.
shimmered faintly, its surface glossy and vibrant, almost too perfect.
Why do I want to try the
Choked,
candy?
Clutching it tightly as they left the shop. The shopkeeper's wife watched them go, shaking her head. Kids and their sweets, she muttered, turning back to the counter. She didn't notice the faint hum that lingered in the air, nor the way the machine's lever reset itself, ready for the next customer.
Oh.
That evening, the boy bolted
Oh
to his dinner,
no!
against the plate as he devoured the meal with all the grace of a starved animal. Can I have it now? He asked, his mouth still half full.
Bro needs his candy.
Exchanging a glance
He's
with
so
his mother
hype.
before nodding. Go ahead, she said, but brush your teeth after.
Oh my
The boy didn't wait for
gosh.
further permission. He sprinted to his room, slamming the door behind him. Perched on his bed, he pulled the candy from his pocket. The wrapper crinkled as he took it off, the sound sharp and electric in the quiet room. He held the candy up, turning it in his fingers, marveling at the faint shimmer. With a triumphant grin, he popped it into his mouth.
Don't do it, you're gonna get diabetes
Like a
and bloody
tidal wave, A
armpits.
syrupy explosion of flavor that made his eyes water. Mmm,
Bro's hooked.
Savoring it, but then it changed.
No.
The sweetness soured, turning sharp and metallic.
Oh, man.
Bitterness clawed.
So I was kind of hoping that the SCP only affected adults, because there are some SCPs, kind of similar to like Dr. Wondertainment's SCPs, that only really affect adults, but this one seems like it doesn't care whether you're 4 years old or a 97-year-old grandma. You're cooked as soon as you eat it.
At the back of his throat, and his stomach churned. Suddenly, a jolt of pain shot through
Oh,
him like electric shock.
no!
His fingers twitched uncontrollably, dropping the candy wrapper onto the floor. Then, the
Oh
whispers
my
began.
goodness, not the
They were
whispers!
faint at first, a low murmur brushing the edges.
That's
of his
so creepy
consciousness.
with all of the stuffed animals.
Insistent, a cacophony of voices speaking in a language.
Oh,
he couldn't
not the
understand.
cacophony of
His
voices!
hands shot to his ears, trying to block out the noise, but it was inside his head, crawling under his skin. Stop!
Oh, this poor
His voice
child.
high and cracked. Make it stop! The shadows in his room seemed to move.
Go
His
to your
drawer
mom.
drawers, neatly lined up on the shelf, rattled as if an unseen hand had brushed against them.
So I'm guessing that because this happens, the parents are probably going to contact a doctor, unlike the L wife from earlier. So that's probably where the SCP Foundation is going to first discover that this thing actually exists.
His favorite stuffed bear toppled from the bed, its button eyes glinting eerily in the dim light.
Okay,
He
okay.
scrambled backward, his breath coming in ragged gasps, but there was nowhere to go.
That is terrifying.
Pooled under his arms, seeping through his shirt and
Oh,
leaving dark stains on
no.
his pajama sleeves.
That's so
His socks
traumatizing.
were red and damp, sticky with a crimson sheen that spread to the carpet.
Oh,
Sharp burned at the
I don't
corner of
like
his
this
eyes. He
anymore.
wiped at them, but his hands
This is
always
nightmare
smeared with
fuel.
red. Mom! He shrieked, but the words were barely coherent. He doubled over, his stomach twisting.
Oh,
Blood dripped from his nose,
that is
splattering onto the candy
so,
wrapper as his
so
body
bad.
compressed. His skin glistened with sweat,
Ah.
streaked with faint trails of crimson. The door burst open, and his parents rushed.
Okay, okay, somebody
His mother
help.
froze in the doorway, her hand flying to her mouth. Oh my God! She gasped.
Yeah.
His father darted forward, grabbing the boy's trembling shoulders.
Bro, somebody
What's
get a
happening to him?
doctor.
He yelled, his voice rising with panic. The boy clawed at his father's arms, his wide eyes darting
Oh my God.
around the room, as though he were seeing something.
Ah!
that couldn't. It's here! He choked out, his voice
What
raw.
is?
It's here! The candy
This is like
wrapper lay
Stranger
discarded
Things
on the floor,
with the mind
a faint,
flayer.
Sweet smell lingering in the air. The mother picked it up with trembling fingers, staring at it as if it held the answer. But the glossy paper offered no clues, only the lingering promise of something sweet and candy red. The boy's cries echoed through the neighborhood that night.
Oh
His
my
parents'
goodness.
shouts barely masking the
It
chaos.
literally is like he's in the
Everyone
upside down.
had heard the story, or some version of it. Whispers swirled in the corners of the diner and at the general store. Did you hear about that boy? Someone
Oh,
would
wow.
ask, leaning in as if the details might vanish if spoken too loudly. Blood everywhere, they say. And the candy from that machine, another neighbor would add, hushed but eager. The candy shop itself seemed to hold its breath. Fewer parents dared to enter, casting wary glances at the vending machine through the window. But their children, wide-eyed and curious, couldn't resist pressing their noses to the glass.
Give me the
Take
Satan
along for their
candy
feet
now.
another child. This time, it was a shy girl with pigtails, her cheeks flushed as she clutched a few coins in her tiny hand.
That's
She'd
Wednesday
saved
Addams.
every penny of her allowance, eyeing the forbidden candy with
Why?
growing curiosity each
What
time
is?
she passed the shop.
Are you stupid
Today,
or are you an
it had
idiot?
come.
What?
Her mother
What?
lingered in the bookstore
Seriously?
next door, engrossed in a discussion about the latest novel. The girl seized the moment.
Are you actually kidding me right now? That, like, a child. Everybody knows that he ate the forbidden candy, and then now no police, no doctor said anything about, like, hey, like, we should probably remove this candy from the candy shop. But, like, maybe the candy didn't do anything, because it is kind of crazy to think that candy could do that. However, if there's a small chance that there's poisonous drug candy inside of a candy shop, you would think somebody would go in and remove it. Simple as that.
Slipping into the shop as quietly as a shadow. The shopkeeper's wife sat at the counter, poring over a stack of receipts. She barely looked up as the girl approached the vending machine. The girl hesitated, her heart pounding as she slid the coin
Whatever.
into the
Just
slot.
do it.
The lever felt cold in her
Your
small
fate is
hand.
sealed.
She pulled it, her breath catching as the candy tumbled into the dispenser. She picked it up, gazing at its shimmering surface.
Death by idiot.
She thought she heard a faint hum, but she brushed it off and darted out of the shop, her prize clutched tightly. That night, her parents found her curled under her bed, her hands and feet
Of
crusted
course.
with dried blood, the metallic smell
She
filling the
messed
room.
around and she found
At
out.
first, they thought she'd hurt herself, but a frantic inspection revealed no injuries. Just,
Just blood coming from the pits.
pooling and drying in thick crimson streaks. Sweetheart, her mother whispered, kneeling to meet her daughter's hollow stare. What happened? The girl didn't answer. Her lips moved.
I
but
do
the
not
words
like
were
blood either,
nonsense.
guys. This is so
Broken
bad.
phrases and murmurs that
I
made no
hate this
sense.
video.
Tears streamed from her bloodshot eyes, staining her cheeks red. Her parents exchanged terrified glances, their child trembling and unresponsive in their arms.
Ugh.
The town's unease deepened when the next incident followed just days later.
What?
A boy, known for his boldness and love of adventure,
How many
used his
people
pocket
are
money
gonna
to buy
eat the
candy.
forbidden
He was
devil
last seen
candy?
stuffing it into his mouth as he walked toward the woods,
What?
a wide grin on his face.
Seriously?
Hours passed before his family found him, barefoot and wandering aimlessly through the trees. His clothes were torn,
What?
his skin streaked with dirt and blood. His
Why was it
face
torn?
pale, his expression blank.
Huh.
Son, what happened to you?
I ate the candy, Dad. I ate it.
His voice shaking. The boy blinked, his eyes unfocused. His lips quivered as he whispered, I don't know. His father's grip tightened. What do you mean you don't know? Where have you been? The boy looked down at his hands, coated in blood. He held them up, trembling. Who am I? He asked softly.
What?
His parents stepped back in horror. The boy didn't seem to recognize them.
Is that why nobody knows that it was the candy? Because maybe nobody remembers themselves or anything about themselves after they eat the candy, which would make a lot more sense. But the mom of the first kid did find the wrapper, so I feel like that might have been a good clue to know that, I don't know, the candy did something weird.
Or himself. There were no injuries, no explanation for the blood, only silence, broken by the boy's ragged breathing and his mother's sobs. The shop became a cursed place. Parents yanked their children away from the windows.
Get
warning
away,
growing
Timmy!
sharper. Stay away from there. Do you hear me? A chorus of yes.
Okay,
ma'am,
finally.
Yes, sir. Followed,
People
but the
are
children's
listening.
eyes still darted toward the machine. Their
Oh my
curiosity
god,
gnawing
bro.
at them.
All these kids are
The
fat.
shopkeeper's wife was no fool. She noticed the dwindling foot traffic and the fearful glances. It's just a machine, she muttered,
Where is your husband?
sweeping the floor.
Is he good?
That's when the shopkeeper's wife remembered something strange. No matter how many candies the machine dispensed, by morning, its glass dome was full again.
You
First,
just noticed
she chalked
that?
it up to a trick of the mind. Perhaps she hadn't been paying attention. But that same night, after locking up, she emptied the dome herself, pouring every last gumball into a tin bucket.
Okay,
She carried the
finally.
bucket to the back room, stuffing it into a cupboard and locking the door for good measure. The next morning, the dome was full again. She froze, staring at the machine as a chill crept up her spine.
All right, now go talk to your husband and ask if he did it.
Shimmer under the dim shop lights, the coin slot almost beckoning at her. Her hand reached out, trembling slightly, but she pulled back at the last second. Just my imagination.
No,
Whispered,
what? No,
trying to
no,
steady
no.
her breath.
Listen to yourself.
But deep
No.
down, she knew better. That night, she left the shop lights on. Meanwhile, the rumors reached further than the town, carried by concerned whispers and unsettling reports. Parents spoke of children drenched in blood that wasn't theirs, of panic attacks and hallucinations. The stories of missing children and bizarre deaths eventually caught the attention of the SCP Foundation.
Finally.
One crisp
Okay, we
morning,
got the
2 men in
professionals
dark
here,
suits
guys.
Entered the shop. Their voices were calm, their questions pointed.
Ooh,
They
Scarface.
introduced themselves as government officials conducting a safety inspection.
We've heard reports of strange occurrences linked to this machine.
One said, his eyes fixed on the vending contraption. The shopkeeper's wife hesitated. It's just a candy machine, she said weakly. Her voice faltered. The whispers had kept her awake for nights, and the memory of the refilled dome haunted her. The men exchanged a glance.
We'd like to take it for further examination,
The other said.
for public safety.
Relief and dread warred within her. Take it, she said quickly, almost too eagerly. The Foundation agents moved with precision. A containment team arrived within the hour, disassembling the machine piece by piece. Despite its mechanical simplicity, the process was far from ordinary. The polished exterior resisted their tools, the lever locked stubbornly in place until they used specialized equipment to disable it.
Huh.
As the machine was packed into a
did it.
reinforced crate, one agent held up the base, revealing the inscription. "Try something different today, sweet and candy red." The phrase dripped with irony, given the chaos it had caused. The shopkeeper and his wife were escorted into a back room. Their memories of the machine, the candy, and the horrors it had unleashed were erased with a simple injection.
Okay, good. Boom, they got Men in Black mind wiped.
The next morning with
That's
only a
for the
faint
best.
sense of something missing. The machine was transported to a secure Foundation site, its mysteries far from solved. Researchers marveled at its infinite supply of candy, its indestructible mechanisms, and the faint hum it emitted in the quiet of the observation chamber. "Where did it come from?" one researcher mused aloud, staring at the refilled dome.
Probably
No one answered.
Walmart.
The machine sat silent, its polished surface reflecting the sterile lights of the containment room. For now, it was contained. But as the whispers began to creep through the facility's halls, one thing became clear. This anomaly, now formally designated SCP-942, was far from finished. The
What?
machine, now officially labeled
Wait a second.
SCP-942-2, was wheeled into a reinforced chamber under the watchful eyes of armed guards and nervous researchers. It sat in the center of the brightly lit room, gleaming under the fluorescent lights.
Is it going
Weeks
to
it remained
evolve?
still, silent, and yet undeniably ominous. Researchers set up constant surveillance. Cameras captured every angle of the machine, but it offered no answers.
This is
The
so
dome
weird.
filled itself each night with the same crimson-tinted candies. There was no observable mechanism, no hidden compartment. The candies simply appeared.
Okay, so
One
there's like a
researcher
black
stared at
hole
the
pocket
monitor,
dimension.
Their voice tinged with unease. "It's like it's taunting us." Another shrugged,
Eat
trying to mask their
me.
own nerves. "Or just showing off." The candies, now designated SCP-942-1, were subjected to rigorous analysis. Their composition
what are
seemed
they?
ordinary at first. Sugar, artificial flavoring, food
Okay.
dye.
Yeah,
But their
delicious.
effects on living subjects told a much darker story.
So what is the secret
D-class
ingredient?
Personnel were brought in for testing. Each was handed a single candy, instructed
Oh,
to consume
no.
it, and monitored closely.
These D-class
Subject
personnel.
into their mouth,
No,
chewing
just
slowly.
lick it.
At first, their expression brightened. "Tastes amazing," they murmured, a faint smile tugging at their lips. But within moments, their
Ah,
demeanor
no.
shifted, their
Another
hands
one bites the
trembled,
dust.
Breathing quickened. They clutched their head, muttering incoherently. Then the screaming began.
But the thing is, they don't
The
die.
researcher barked.
It just
but
messes up their
The
brain.
subject collapsed, convulsing violently before falling into unconsciousness. The pattern was clear. SCP-942-1 wasn't just candy. It was a weapon, disguised as a treat. Despite strict protocols, curiosity proved to be a dangerous weakness. During a routine experiment, one researcher, fatigued and frustrated,
No.
decided to taste
Are you,
SCP-942-1
are you
themselves.
actually dumb? Guys, okay, you literally work at the SCP Foundation. You are a doctor. You probably have PhDs. You've been in school forever. What are you doing? You literally know what this thing does, and you're willingly going to go and take it? Go somewhere else. Go anywhere else. Get a Feastables. I don't care what you do. Why would you ever, in a bajillion years, eat an SCP? That is top-tier dumb behavior.
Whether it was a lapse in judgment or an act of defiance, the result was the same.
No, you're just an
The moment
idiot.
they bit into the candy, their eyes widened.
Oh
At
my
first,
god. I
they
get it
seemed
though.
fine.
I might try it too,
Then they
actually.
weren't. Their breathing turned erratic. They clawed at their arms, leaving deep red streaks. As
Ah.
they screamed about shadows moving. in the corners
Oh
of the room.
my god.
They stumbled into equipment, their voice rising.
Oh
in
no
despair.
no.
Watching. They're
Make it
everywhere.
stop.
They shrieked before collapsing
Oh,
onto the floor,
God.
twitching and muttering incoherently.
I don't like this
The
anymore.
incident left the observation team shaken. "That's why we have protocols," the lead researcher said coldly, though their voice betrayed a hint of fear. The researcher was sedated and taken for observation. Their prognosis was grim. Weeks turned into months, but the Foundation's brightest minds were no closer to understanding SCP-942-2.
They have no
Machine's
idea.
ability to replenish candy remained a mystery. It defied every attempt to probe its inner workings. X-rays showed nothing unusual. Attempts to dismantle it were met with failure, as tools shattered against its metal frame. SCP-942-2 remains contained in its reinforced chamber, monitored day and night. The candies are carefully cataloged, each piece treated as a potential threat. Researchers continue their experiments, but the anomaly remains an enigma. For now, SCP-942-2 sits silently, its polished surface reflecting the sterile glow of the lab. The candies inside gleam invitingly, their crimson hues promising sweetness and something far more sinister.
So, after watching the blood candy, I think I've lost my appetite, guys. But this next SCP takes this to the next level. It is called Mr. Hungry, and everything that he comes across, he has to eat. It kind of sounds pretty awesome at the start, but you have to trust me, guys, this gets really, really out of hand.
A man opens his mouth to bite a hot dog.
Sounds like me.
Freezes. His eyes widen, and the hot dog drops from his hand, falling to
Okay.
the ground. Ahead, a stampede of people is running toward him, screaming, crying out for help.
Why?
Behind them, a man walks at an ordinary, casual pace, but something is off. His eyes have a glazed, unfocused look to them. And he keeps
Okay.
shoveling random items into his open mouth.
That's kinda
swallowing
weird.
them down. He eats a clipboard and pen, a discarded shoe, and as the first man watches in horror, the very hungry man grabs the ankle of a fallen member of the crowd
what?
and pulls him into his mouth, devouring him. The first man turns to run for his life, only to be knocked to the ground by the rest of the crowd, trying to escape. He struggles to climb back to his feet, and a hand reaches out to take his.
Oh, is that
When he makes it
Mr.
to his
Hungry?
feet, he looks up and sees the hungry man.
Oh
holding
my
him in,
goodness.
Mouth stretching.
He
open
looks like a
wide.
Titan from Attack on
The sky
Titan,
is
but
a
normal
perfect,
size.
Cloudless blue. The air is warm from the unbroken sunlight, but cooled to the perfect temperature by a gentle breeze.
So it's a
There is
nice
sense
day.
of electricity, excitement, and competition in the air.
Okay.
Throngs of people have gathered together in a makeshift arena, piled into plastic chairs and swarming around concession
I'm gonna guess
stands,
it's some sort of
all
eating
training their eyes
competition.
on the arena's center. What are they here for? Some sort of Olympic Games? A baseball tournament? A horse race? No, it's something greater, something meatier. It is the annual Midsummer Hot Dog Eating Contest, and locals and tourists alike are coming together to see just who can cram the
Where's
most
Joey
pork or beef
Chestnut?
hot dogs and buns.
pretty
down
sure he
their
wins,
gullets
like, every
in front
year.
of a roaring crowd. The announcer makes his way to the front of the arena, standing with his arms wide in front of the long table behind him. As he calls out the names of this year's contestants, they file in, each taking his place behind the table. There is the previous year's champion, a burly man with a bushy beard and twinkling eyes.
I'm kind of curious if we'll see Mr. Hungry, aka SCP-913, as one of the contestants here today.
And there is this year's surprise competitor, a skinny 19-year-old college student with a hungry grin. Then there are the lesser-known contestants, a local father who signed up after making a joke with his daughter, an uncle who scrawled his name on the sign-up sheet after a few too many drinks, a recently retired man checking off another item on his golden years bucket list. All have come to the event today with full hearts and empty stomachs,
So,
ready to see who the
who's
year's
gonna
victor
win?
will be. The announcer riles up the crowd, encouraging them to cheer as loudly as possible to spur on their chosen competitor. All the while, staff are carrying out trays piled high with hot dogs. More hot dogs than most people see in a year.
I have a
except for
bad
people who just
feeling
really,
about this.
Really love hot dogs. Each contestant receives a tray of hot dogs, a bucket of water, and an additional empty bucket, just in case.
Kind of side note, I always wondered, like, if you sign up for a food eating competition, do you have to pay for the food? Because I feel like that would be a pretty good way to get a lot of free food if you wanted to. Just saying.
Well, you get the idea. With the supplies and competitors all in place, it is time to begin the countdown. The announcer holds up his favorite air horn and calls out,
3, 2, 1, eat!
At the sound of the air horn's blast, the men leap into action, seizing hot dogs from plates and each engaging in their unique competitive eating technique. The previous year's champion employs the method of famous hot dog eating champion Joey Chestnut.
That's who I was
dunking his
talking
entire
about.
Hot dog sloppily
Yeah,
into
he
his
makes it,
water
like, really
and
mushy.
swallowing it as quickly as
Kind of
possible.
gross.
The new challenger, on the other hand, employs the Solomon method, named for King Solomon. Much like the fabled king suggested doing with a stolen infant, eaters using the Solomon method break the focus
What?
of their feasting in half before polishing
What?
it off. One of the more casual competitors attempts a divide and conquer technique.
Interesting.
eating first the dog
Oh,
itself,
ew, I didn't
and
like
then
that.
the
That was
bun.
weird.
Others employ no specific technique at all, attempting to devour the stack of hot dogs before them, using
Yeah.
the same classic eating style they might employ at a family barbecue.
He's just chomping
This
down.
is a grave mistake.
Hold up, ladies and gentlemen. Did you guys get your cookie plushie yet? Because if you guys didn't check them out yet, make sure you guys scan this QR code right here. Or you guys can head over to BeckBroJack.co. You guys are definitely gonna wanna go quick because my brother Dirt Boy already bought 300 of them from the last time that I saw you. So if you guys want one, you should go get one. Back to the video.
One by one, the less prepared competitors drop out.
He looks
spitting into their buckets, wiping meat sweats from their
tired.
foreheads, waddling out of the arena while groaning and holding their
They're all
aching
gonna be in
stomachs.
food comas.
Soon, only the two frontrunners remain. But what's this? A challenger approaches. An unassuming black man, clad in a shirt and dress pants, rushes into the
It's
arena.
Mr.
His face
Hungry.
a mask of single-minded determination, and begins seizing the discarded hot dogs off the table, gobbling them up as fast as he can. The announcer and the rest of the audience watch in stunned disbelief. This is unprecedented, and as exciting as it is, definitely against the rules. This man is not a registered competitor, and he certainly can't join the contest in the champion stretch. Unsure of what else to do, the announcer beckons to the staff on the sidelines, ushering them back toward the table to clear
Oh
the
no,
food
they're
and
gonna try to
escort
get rid
the
of him.
surprise drop-in out of the arena. The audience watches with rapt attention as the staff members attempt to remove the stranger from
Oh
his place at the
no,
table.
dudes, this
He
is how
shakes his head
chaos
violently,
happens.
refusing
Look at his teeth too. His teeth look almost like they're carnivore teeth. Like they're a little sharper than usual.
to go and snatches the hot dogs away from them, even as they try to clear the trays away. All the while, the remaining competitors standing are attempting to stay the course and finish strong in spite of the interruption. The new, younger man collapses, slumping down onto the table in a hot dog-induced stupor. He has tapped out. The victor is the previous year's champion, with a staggering ultimate tally of 38 hot dogs.
38,
As
dude.
4 staff members work together
I
to
don't even
wrestle
think
the
I could eat
stranger out of
10.
the arena, the champion steps forward to receive his trophy. The crowd roars as he holds up his arms, grinning ear to ear and basking in yet another win. The announcer can still see the staff struggling with the stranger out of the corner of his eye, but this crowd wants to see their champion crowned, and the show must go on.
I wonder if something like this has ever happened before, where during like a professional eating competition, has a random stranger come up and like just tried to join the competition out of nowhere, and they're like just chowing down on hot dogs, and then they have to get security to come escort them out because clearly they're getting a bunch of free food, which is illegal. You must pay for the food, I think anyway.
So he grabs the Hot Dog King sash, the crown made from gold, well, gold-plated, hot dogs, and even the massive gold trophy. He crowns the winner, placing the sash over his shoulders. Then, as the music swells triumphantly, courtesy of the local high school marching band, the announcer holds up the trophy,
Wow.
sunlight glinting off its shiny
It's
surface.
gorgeous.
It represents so many things: achievement, celebration, the ability to eat just so much meat and not get sick. And now it is time for it to be awarded to the man who earned it.
He did
the
it.
announcer stretches his arms, handing over the
What a
trophy to the
beast.
contest winner, when all of a sudden,
Oh.
another hand grabs
Oh,
hold
is he
of his
going to
handle,
eat the
ripping it from
trophy?
the announcer's grasp. The stranger has returned, somehow freeing himself from the multiple security guards.
Yeah,
who escorted
because he
him
ate
away.
them
He has
alive.
taken the trophy for himself.
Somebody should go check on
But
them.
he isn't just attempting to crown himself the hot dog king. No, this is not a simple coup de hot dog. He lifts the trophy up over his head, opening his mouth as wide as it will go, and tears the metal in half with a horrible screeching sound,
So-
shoving the pieces into
As soon as you see that, especially when you see his like mangled teeth, which probably happened because he's done this a bunch, where he's probably been eating everything in sight, including metal, which will destroy your teeth. So as soon as you see something like this, like you should probably, you know, call the cops, maybe call the military, call the president, maybe call in NASA. I don't even know what you do because this guy's clearly not human. He's an alien.
his mouth, chewing and swallowing. By the time the announcer and the champion recover from their shock enough to move again, the trophy is completely gone, vanished into the stranger's belly.
That's gross.
After a day of seemingly impossible feats of feasting, the sight of this strange man consuming a truly impossible meal of metal is just too much for the already anxious crowd to take. The arena erupts into absolute chaos as people spill out of their seats en masse, fleeing the area. The champion, however, does not turn and run. He feels robbed of his victory.
Oh my gosh,
Though
he's
it
gonna
may
try
have
to fight.
occurred in an utterly bizarre fashion.
No,
he won't
dude.
stand for this kind of disrespect.
Why in a million years would you go up to somebody as crazy as the dude that just ate your trophy in like 3 bites? He's clearly psychotic, right? Like you should probably steer clear of people like that. Just, you know, I don't want to tell you what to do and how to live your life, but you should definitely not approach people that eat metal trophies. That is something that I will live my life by from this day forward.
He has trained all year for this moment, only to watch his trophy be eaten right in front of him.
There's always more
He
trophies.
marches right up to the stranger and pokes him in the chest, demanding to know who he thinks he is. What gives him the right to crash the hot dog eating contest, interrupt the proceedings, and upstage his victory by chowing down on the trophy? The man doesn't answer him, so the champion continues to berate him,
stop.
wagging his
Get your
in
finger
his
away
face.
from his mouth.
The stranger's eyes
No,
follow the
dude,
finger,
what are you
and slowly
thinking?
he opens his mouth. There is a sudden shock,
No,
and the
it's
champion
just tomatoes.
screams,
It's
holding
just
his hand
ketchup,
to his
right?
chest, using his shirt
Oh,
to stem the bleeding.
no.
He turns to run with the rest of the crowd, but it's too late. The stranger's hand clamps down on his shoulder, holding him in place with a surprising strength. The only thing he sees before his life is snuffed out is the stranger's wide-open mouth before everything goes dark.
That's
with another
really
sickening
scary.
chomp.
It's like a
All
human
the while,
snake.
The crowd's terror rises to a fever pitch at the horrible sight. They trample each other as they scramble to vacate the area, shoving strangers and loved ones alike out of the way.
Dude.
In a bid to
This is a
escape
head
this
scratcher.
mysterious equal opportunity omnivore.
I don't even know
with
what
an
you do.
appetite for far more than just hot dogs. Some manage to escape, running far enough from the arena that they can stop to catch their breaths and glance back at the ones who were not so lucky. Those who tripped and fell in the madness, who had the wind knocked out of them by an elbow to the gut from one of their neighbors, those with weak ankles or who hadn't tied their shoes carefully enough. All of these poor, unfortunate souls are next on the menu for the stranger. He devours them one by one.
This is
rarely
gross.
even
I don't
stopping to
like
chew.
this.
As one surviving woman watching from a distance pulls out her phone to call 911.
Well, yeah.
She can't escape noticing the parallels to the contest itself. The way the stranger eats with a singular focus on consuming as much as possible.
That is a
There's no
human
cause
leg.
to enjoy the meal, but there is no sadism or malice in the act either. Just the sheer, undeniable drive to keep eating. The woman's call to the police is one of the strangest moments of her life and utterly baffles the local police department. Ma'am, please calm down. One officer repeats.
I am a little bit worried too because earlier they mentioned that the SCP had some weird superhuman strength. So even if they do bring the police there, are they going to be able to stop him? That's something that I don't think so, especially because usually SCPs, they're supernatural in the way that they behave. So if I had to guess, he's probably super strong. He probably is practically invincible, and there's nothing that's going to stop him from eating everything and everyone in sight.
Again and again. What do you mean there's a man eating people? I mean exactly what I said, she shouts. A man showed up at the hot dog contest and started eating people. Please, you have to do something.
It sounds like a prank
I
call.
think this is above our pay grade, miss. Another officer chimes in. You think we should call, the first officer trails off. Who?
The
woman
SCP
demands,
Foundation.
But the line goes dead before she can ask another question. The police are clearly no help, and she isn't about to stick around and see just how big this stranger's appetite is. She tried to save the others, but now she needs to save herself. She
Yes,
runs all the
get
way
out of
home
there.
without another glance back. Meanwhile, the local police did make that mysterious call, and an SCP Foundation mobile task force is currently en route to the scene.
Oh, nice.
By the
Okay,
time
good.
They arrive, the park is a ghost town, with nothing but the blood-stained grass and abandoned arena to suggest that something horrible ever
Is the
happened here at
SCP
all.
gone?
But these aren't some bumbling local police officers who have no idea what to do with a man-eating anomaly. This team has seen enough bizarre sights to fill a lifetime, and another lifetime after that. They spy a trail of sticky red footprints leading away from the arena. At first, they assume that the substance is blood, but a closer examination reveals
Ketchup.
that it is, in fact, ketchup. They
Oh.
track the savory footprints
They
away from the
tasted
scene
it?
of the day's unsavory events, following them to a nearby warehouse. Judging from the scattered wooden beams, rustling metal, and boarded-up windows, this place has been abandoned for some time.
Interesting.
Perfect place for an anomaly to hide away.
That is the
They
home
weren't
of
certain.
Mr.
The
Hungry.
sound of someone inside biting through sheets of metal is plenty of indication that this is the right place. With no time to waste, they break down the door of the warehouse, weapons drawn and ready. They follow the sound of the chewing, splitting up to apprehend the subject from all available directions. The shriek of tearing metal echoes
Where
through
is
the building,
he?
bouncing off the walls and creating a cacophony that is difficult to track. They do their best to follow the sound, but quickly veer off in separate directions in an attempt to cover as much ground as possible. One operative confronts the stranger just as he is reaching for
there
another
he is.
piece of metal. He watches as the man takes a
Oh!
massive bite out of the steel, a bite that should have shattered his teeth and broken his jaw.
Oh, he just ripped apart steel, bro. I thought only jet fuel could melt steel beams, but apparently this guy's teeth, it's basically jet fuel. That is crazy.
Instead, a cartoonish bite mark is taken out of the metal. He approaches the stranger, who, upon locking eyes with him, begins to shake his head, still chewing. The MTF operative ignores this visual cue, approaching the man and attempting to physically restrain him. This, like the confrontation with the champion before, is cut off with a fateful chomp, and the operative
why
screams
would you
ringing out
touch
through the
him?
warehouse.
I thought this SCP whole squadron, like, they've seen anomalies before, and you would think that they probably know, don't get too close to an SCP, because that could happen.
Alerting his teammates to his unfortunate fate. The screams suddenly go silent, and another MTF operative stops cold, listening as the sound of chewing draws nearer and nearer. He spins around to face the presence behind him and spots the stranger standing there. The otherwise ordinary man is polishing off the tip of a steel beam, grimacing as he swallows it.
That's
The
gross,
operative
dude.
lifts his weapon, pointing it at the subject. The operative tells him to stand down and come quietly. The hungry man pleads, wide-eyed, for the operative to turn and run while he still can.
Huh?
He takes small, reluctant steps toward the operative.
Okay, so it seems like the SCP himself is maybe just a normal guy, and he has the insatiable need to keep eating. Like, he can't stop himself.
Muttering that he can't stop.
Yeah.
The operative brandishes his weapon again, barking another order for the man to stop.
Is he gonna eat the bullets?
Before he can make another move, the stranger snatches the weapon out of his
Okay.
hand, opens his mouth.
Are you kidding me? How, as an SCP like SEAL Team 6, how, as a SCP soldier, are you gonna let an SCP get close enough to grab your gun? Like, these guys clearly aren't trained. My 95-year-old grandmother knows you just pull the trigger when some crazy dude is walking at you.
And swallows it. He winces as he does,
Ew.
but does not stop. until the
Ew,
weapon
it's
is
like a
completely
magic trick.
devoured. All at once, he lets out a loud belch. His knees buckle.
I wonder
and he
what his
slumps to
poops
the
are
ground.
like.
He rubs his stomach, wipes his brow, and sighs heavily. I'm so sorry about that. I was just so hungry I couldn't help it.
Oh.
The man shakes his head sadly. I hope you can get a new weapon. And I'm sorry about your friend, too.
Oh, wow.
You said you couldn't help it. Why'd you stop? The stranger shrugs, sighs again, and simply says, well, because I was full. After
Oh.
a bit of convincing,
So
and
he
a test
can
confirming
be
the subject's
full.
strength and bite force has returned to ordinary human levels, the
What?
remaining mobile task force agreed to bring him into Foundation custody unharmed, though restrained. They pile into one of the SCP Foundation's trademark unmarked vans and set off toward the nearest Foundation site. About 1 hour into the trip, the subject begins to lament his growling stomach, asking
Oh,
if they can
no.
possibly stop somewhere for a bite to eat. Ordinarily, this is against protocol, but after what happened to their teammate, the task force members
Yeah.
aren't taking any chances.
You should probably
They
give him
pull
all
into
the
a fast
food that he
food
needs.
drive-thru and permit the subject to order whatever he wants. They'll declare it as a business expense later. 5 burgers, 5 fries, 5 tacos, 5
Wow.
pies, 5 cokes, 10 tater tots, 10 tenders,
What?
5 shakes, 5 pancakes, 5 jalapeno poppers, and
What?
5 baked potatoes later. The task force
That's like what my brain wants to order every time that I'm hungry, but obviously no human could eat that much food.
successfully reached the Foundation site with their newest subject, SCP-913. SCP-913 appears to be an average African-American man around middle age. Though his appearance is completely ordinary, his metabolism is unnaturally fast. He requires the recommended daily caloric
What?
intake for an average human being every 2 hours and has an unusually high internal temperature, though the specific number has been redacted from his official file. If he does
Interesting.
not meet his calorie requirement for a given 2-hour period, he will enter a trance state in which he is unable to control himself.
Yeah, okay.
In this state, he will break down and ingest any solid matter in his line of sight.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of Shy Guy. How Shy Guy is kind of just like a normal dude, at least that has like superhuman strength and looks kind of weird, and is just really shy. And if you look at Shy Guy, he literally can't help it, and he will come and he'll kill you. And it kind of seems like this guy's in like the same boat where he doesn't want to do it, but he kind of has to do it in order for him to satiate like the hunger that he has. He has to eat stuff until he's full again.
This includes matter that would ordinarily be indigestible, including wood, plastic, and metal.
That's
In this
disgusting.
state, his appetite does not distinguish between living and non-living subjects. When he is in this hunger-driven state, he is aware of all his actions, but cannot stop himself, even when he eats dense materials
Oh.
that cause him extreme discomfort. If this state hits while the subject is sleeping, he will be forced awake. In addition to his anomalous appetite, SCP-913 can rend objects at an estimated force of 3,000
What?
newtons and can bite objects with an estimated force of 5,000 newtons when eating them.
goodness.
Whenever he is not in his trance state, He cannot replicate this strength. An examination of SCP-913's liver tissue showed that it is capable of producing new enzymes in response to foreign material, allowing his body to digest matter that should be highly dangerous to consume.
So he has metal poops.
Metabolize the substrate at an efficiency of approximately 98%, detoxifying any drugs or toxins consumed by the subject during the hunger state or otherwise. This includes, but is not limited to, amnestics and anesthetics.
Interesting. So he can't be poisoned, he can't be drugged, his body will just, just get out all of the toxins.
13 was first discovered. He was wearing a shirt and dress pants, both with the brand name Doctor's Orders sewn onto their tags. SCP-913 has no tattoos aside from one on his right calf, which reads, Mr. Hungry. From Little Misters by Dr. Wondertainment.
Okay, so this guy was clearly experimented on, and he was created by whoever Dr. Wondertainment is.
Just in case you aren't aware, the Little Misters are a line of humanoid anomalies created by the mysterious Dr. Wondertainment Corporation.
Interesting.
Including the fish-headed Mr. Fish, candy-coated Ms. Sweetie, and Mr. Life and Mr. Death.
I've never heard of these.
Bit as existentially upsetting as he sounds. The purpose of these creations is currently unknown, though, like many Dr. Wondertainment products, their existence invites endless speculation. SCP-913 must be contained in a customized humanoid containment cell lined with 1 meter thick carbon steel. 913 is to be provided standard furnishings for his containment cell, coinciding with the usual necessities for a comfortable humanoid dwelling. He may be given pre-recorded entertainment materials, such as concerts, films, and television shows upon request.
Even though he's in prison, he has some luxuries like music, television, cell phones, and probably unlimited food. So, kind of sounds pretty nice.
The cell may be accessed via a reinforced carbon steel door. Once every 2 hours, SCP-913 is provided with 1 nutritional supplement as specified in Document 913-2. I attempted to locate a copy of 913-2 for further details on said nutritional supplement, but access to it appears to be limited to researchers assigned to SCP-913.
Really? Interesting. So we don't know what he eats.
Nutrition is provided to SCP-913 via a central venous catheter that must be changed once every 3 months. These measures allow SCP-913 to receive the calories that he needs to avoid entering a hunger state, ensuring the safety of everyone on site, as well as his own comfort. Like the rest of the Little Misters, SCP-913 presents a puzzle that may never be solved. I could spend my limited time on this Earth wondering why Dr. Wondertainment would create a being that seems to serve no purpose other than eating as much as possible.
Yeah, that's so random.
Lest he unwillingly destroy the environment around him.
He's like an X-Men with a really stupid superpower.
But I believe that would be a waste of time. Why does Dr. Wondertainment do anything that they do? Why create a woman who can turn men into candy soldiers? Why create an ordinary man with a fish head, a tiny top hat, and a Boston accent?
That was so funny.
The personal motivations of Dr. Wondertainment, whether they are an individual or a massive conglomerate, are as inscrutable to me as the meaning of life itself. Or the reasons why a person would want to eat more than 2 hot dogs in one sitting.
You guys might think that you could survive the Mr. Hungry SCP, but I guarantee you that this next SCP would absolutely destroy everything and everyone that you love. Okay, maybe that was pretty intense. Just make sure you guys cancel all of your trips to IKEA.
His clothes were ragged. He was filthy.
My guy does not look good.
Man with a full beard and long, unkempt hair. His body was covered in scars, but he
what
showed no
happened
signs
to
of
my guy?
malnutrition. What made Martin's sudden appearance so remarkable? He'd been missing for 3 years.
Whoa!
When he was interviewed by police, they asked him where he'd been all this time. They couldn't believe his answer. He'd been trapped in an IKEA since 2008. But this
I feel
was
like they
no
just wouldn't
ordinary
believe that.
IKEA. This was a dangerous anomaly that would come to be known as SCP-3008.
I've heard a lot about this
Martin's answers in his
SCP.
interview were laughed off by his interviewing officers, who assumed he was either crazy or under the influence of something.
I mean, yeah,
But
who
they
would
caught
believe
the
that?
attention of an SCP Foundation field agent embedded in the precinct. The report was passed up the chain to a local site director, who approved a detachment of Foundation field operatives to look into Martin's case. While he was reluctant to lead the Foundation agents back to the offending IKEA, the Foundation can be extremely persuasive. His screams of, "Please, I'm begging you, don't take me back, don't make me go back."
So they basically
were
forced him
noted,
there
but
against his
ultimately
will
disregarded.
to go
When
back to the place where he got
Foundation
assaulted.
had triangulated the position of SCP-3008, which was indeed an active IKEA, the entire retail zone was closed and barricaded under the pretense of a severe black mold infestation. Armed
Okay.
Foundation personnel also arrived on the site shortly after. based on Martin's vague statements that there were creatures of some kind inside.
So pretty much this looks like an IKEA from the outside. I wonder how it looks on the inside.
Due to his deteriorating mental health, Martin was unable to provide a great deal of lucid information on the specific traits of SCP-3008. But one phrase he kept repeating was bigger on the inside. Once researchers were satisfied that Martin had delivered all the pertinent information.
Okay, I've been inside an IKEA before, and like it does look bigger on the inside. It's like a massive warehouse that they set up, these little tiny rooms everywhere, and then you kind of just get lost in there. So I mean, I could understand how some people could get trapped in there for a few hours, maybe a few days, maybe a few years if you really like the meatballs.
He was administered Foundation amnestics to erase his memory of the last 3 years.
That's probably for the best bet. Yeah, so that he's not like traumatized for the rest of his life.
And abused for 3 years by a mentally unbalanced stalker in downtown Carson. He'd been able to escape as said stalker took his own life out of guilt, a suicide that the Foundation expertly fabricated to make their cover story airtight. With the loose end of Martin Sims taken care of, the true observation of SCP-3008 could begin.
The SCP Foundation does not play around.
The mysterious IKEA kept a 24-hour watch on the building, covering all potential entrances and exits. No exploratory missions had yet been approved by the Foundation Ethics Committee, so they first wanted to perform a week of external observation to see if any of the store's anomalous properties extended beyond the confines of the
Okay, guys, I want you to comment down below what you would do if you were the SCP Foundation. Like, how would you kind of like, contain this situation? Personally, I would do what they did so far. I would secure the perimeter, not really go inside yet. But what I'm thinking is we could get something similar to like the Mars rover, for instance, or just like any sort of robot that has a camera, and then you just send that inside. That way, you don't have to waste any D-class personnel.
Building. After a week of nothing, it appeared they did not. A local site director approved of the use of 20 disposable Class D personnel.
Of course, they go. I swear, the SCP Foundation loves using D-class personnel when they could just use robots.
Of SCP-3008. The D-class operatives would be split into 4 squads of 5 men: Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and Delta Squad. Each would be assigned a different quadrant of the store and would deliver information back to the control team on site via a live audio and video link.
Okay.
4 teams upon entering the store.
But you could use robots.
Nothing out of the ordinary. Neither the audio or video they were sending back indicated anything different from a standard IKEA store, from the flat pack wardrobes to the Swedish meatballs. Team Delta, however,
that is insane.
Experiencing a scrambled audio and video connection. Shortly after, communication with Team Delta dropped off entirely. They disappeared somewhere inside the store and haven't been seen since.
Okay, I'm sure you guys remember the first guy that came out of the IKEA. Somehow he escaped, and all over his body he had like marks and scratches. So there's clearly something inside that can do some serious damage. We just don't know what it is yet.
With one notable exception. After the disappearance and the extraction of teams, Foundation researchers classified SCP-3008 as Euclid because its anomalous properties were at least confined to the interior of the store.
Exactly.
And even then, seemingly not the entire interior. The anomalous area within SCP-3008 became known as SCP-3008-1, and containment appeared to be 100% secure. There was no telling
that's
how many
good.
people had already gone missing in the store over the years, but the disappearances must be stopped. The Foundation maintained constant surveillance around the perimeter of SCP-3008, but
that is kind of pretty crazy to think about. There's probably so many people that have, just told their friends and family, like, hey, I need a new plant. I'm gonna go to IKEA. Maybe I'll get some lunch and like get some meatballs and stuff. And then they just disappeared forever. When in reality, they went to an SCP IKEA and got trapped there forever.
it appeared they could prevent any further incidents by simply preventing other civilians from accessing the IKEA store. Martin's ravings about monsters were assumed to just be the product of delirium, until a surviving member of Delta Team suddenly reappeared. The date was November 3rd,
Oh, he actually came back.
Cold night, a few hours after what would have been closing time if the store were still active, and 7 months after the extraction teams had disappeared somewhere in the confines of SCP-3008. There had been no anomalous activity outside the store since the perimeter was first secured, and the Foundation researchers hadn't expected that to change until the last surviving member of Delta Team came barging out of the store's entrance.
He actually made it out?
Field operatives were amazed to see him again,
What?
but they were even more amazed to see what was following him out
Oh
of the
my
store,
God.
repeating the same
It's a
phrase,
Swedish
"Store is now
man."
closed, please exit the building." Despite the fact that the entity chasing the Delta Team survivor was wearing the yellow shirt and blue pants of an IKEA store employee, the being
Where is his
definitely
face?
was not human. It was around 7 feet tall with no
7
visible
feet?
face. The entity had grossly extended limbs, with each arm being around 5 or 6 feet long and ending in a huge oversized hand.
Okay, guys, so it kind of reminds me a little bit of like the size and shape of the Shy Guy SCP. Like it kind of looks like a human, but not really. It's like super tall and skinny, and it has really long limbs. And more importantly, it can do some serious damage.
The whole process was so sudden that the field agents present at the perimeter weren't able to save the Delta Team survivor.
Oh my
as
God,
the
he
entity
died?
Reached forward with his freakishly
No.
long arms, grabbed him, and twisted his head off like a child's doll. The field operatives present drew their weapons and peppered the entity with bullets. It would later be
Are you
classified
kidding
as
me?
SCP-3008-2. The being appeared to collapse and die from the physical trauma.
Oh,
At
okay,
which
so it's
point
not as
it
strong
and
as
the
Shy
body
Guy.
of the former Delta Team survivor were taken for an autopsy by Foundation researchers. There were no biological abnormalities of the body of the Delta Team survivor, so it did not appear that the anomalous properties of SCP-3008-1 had any effect on the physiology of its occupants.
Okay, so basically what they're saying is that the 20 D-class personnel that they sent in there and everybody else that's been inside of this IKEA has just been like living in there. Like you can eat the food, you can use the furniture, like it's only SCP whatever 3008-2 that are actually going to hurt you, which is honestly kind of crazy. Like they're just living inside an IKEA. Which, honestly, like, that doesn't sound too bad.
He was not malnourished despite being missing for months, and the contents of his stomach looked to be half-digested food consistent with the menu of a typical IKEA store restaurant.
That is so funny.
SCP-3008-2, on the other hand, raised a number of perplexing biological questions. The autopsy revealed that the creature's clothes were actually part of its body, like an additional layer of skin. The creature lacked blood
creepy.
or any kind of vascular system. Even stranger, the entity didn't appear to have bones or internal organs,
So
not even a brain
what
or nervous system.
is it?
It was a being made entirely of skin all the way to its core. How it
What?
was able to move, or even live for that matter, remains a mystery. Though when you work for the SCP Foundation,
These
you learn to
SCPs
accept
creep
that
me
some
out.
Things will always remain unexplained. One thing was certain though, Martin Sims was right about his monsters. After the incident with Delta Team, the Foundation deemed that sending manned explorations into the heart of SCP-3008 was too much of a liability, and planned a series of drone-based reconnaissance missions into the anomaly. The first of these drones experienced connection issues and failed when attempting to venture into the IKEA's anomalous zone. However, after a lengthy period of trial and error, the Foundation was able to establish a more secure connection with its drones, even when deep into the SCP-3008-1 anomalous zone. It was only then that some of the most extraordinary discoveries were made. SCP-3008-1 seemed to break the laws of spatial reality, as the area of the IKEA's interior was
wow.
at least an order of magnitude larger.
So the guy Martin at the start of today's video was right when he said that it's bigger on the inside than it actually looks on the outside. So like I wonder if it's infinite on the inside.
Larger than its exterior. Just as Martin Sims had said, it was bigger on the inside, but just how much bigger? The Foundation has yet to find evidence of any physical terminators within the store that might indicate SCP-3008-1 has an end point.
So
While an
it
area of
is
at least
infinite.
10 kilometers squared has been uncovered
Wow.
in SCP-3008-1.
10 kilometers?
It could, in theory, be infinite. Laser rangefinder tests, which are
Holy
normally
smokes.
very reliable, have only given inconclusive results. Interestingly, the anomalous area doesn't have any clear visual differences from the rest of the IKEA store, except that it extends forever. An individual trapped within the confines of SCP-3008-1 wouldn't even realize they've entered an anomalous zone until they tried to locate an exit and leave, at which point they'd find they were already hopelessly lost. The geography of SCP-3008-1 does at least appear to be consistent, so people trapped within are theoretically able to retrace their steps and escape if they haven't already ventured too deep.
See guys, I don't know. This is one of those SCPs that like, it feels like it could exist a little bit, since I'm sure you guys have been in an IKEA or a store very similar where like it's just so massive that you feel like you're lost sometimes. Like you could just get confused by all of the different like hallways and different places that you can go down and all of the things to look at, and the restaurant with the Swedish meatballs, they're pretty distracting. So I could see how like something like this, I don't know, could be very believable, even though obviously like there's no such thing as an infinite IKEA. That just can't be possible. However, I could see something like the world's biggest IKEA. People could get trapped in there for days without anybody knowing. It could happen.
According to data collected during the drone reconnaissance missions, SCP-3008-2, of which there appear to be a vast population, would wander the stores aimlessly during the day. They are unresponsive to the drone's presence and did not appear to be aggressive.
So they're
While the
pretty much
physical
just
descriptions
zombies.
of these creatures could vary slightly, they all follow the same overall trend. Clothes consistent with an IKEA uniform, no face, either seemingly too tall or too short, and limbs that are grossly out of proportion with their bodies. As the Foundation began sending drones deeper into SCP-3008-1, they found another incredible discovery. There was an unknown population of humans trapped inside
What?
IKEA's anomalous zone. And
So it's the people that have been trapped in there. The people that have, been missing for years and years and years. They have their own little civilization inside of this SCP. I don't think I've ever seen an SCP like that before.
these people had used the IKEA furniture around them to create entire settlements and
What?
towns within the store. There were several of these towns.
Okay,
all of
this would
which
actually
seemed
be a
to
really cool
cohabitate
TV show.
peacefully. Even Foundation personnel found this development in their research to be truly extraordinary. Since SCP-3008 was first identified, there have been only 14 civilian escapes. Some had been trapped inside for months, others had been in there for years, some
Wow.
far longer than Martin's 3-year stint. While every one of these escapees has eventually been released back to their home, after a liberal application of amnestics and a proper cover story has been devised, the Foundation interviewed each of them extensively first. According to each of these escapees, the people trapped inside the IKEA have built an entirely new society across the various settlements. Contrary to the Lord of the
That
Flies
is
expectations of a group
incredible.
of people isolated and afraid, there's immense cooperation between the trapped civilians.
I am kind of curious though, why have only a few people escaped? Considering it seems like some of these people that did escape, they were in the civilization, so eventually they decided to leave. I wonder if most of the people there, maybe they're just happy. Maybe they have a system down, they get free food, they get, a really cool place to live. They probably built up giant walls using couches and other furniture to keep out the really bad zombie SCPs. So I feel like some of them might actually like it there and don't want to escape. I can't be sure, but I could see that happening.
The food in the several IKEA restaurants in SCP-3008-1 mysteriously replenishes while nobody's there, so there's no threat of starving. And the automatic turning on and off of the lights forms as a rudimentary kind of day and night cycle. Nighttime, however, is when things get dangerous, as the SCP-3008-2 entities, which are known to the people inside as the staff, become extremely hostile after dark. Aggressive hordes of the staff swarm the settlements at night, repeating, "This door is now closed, please exit the building."
I
The
mean, that would
civilians
be
inside are
pretty
usually
scary.
able to repel these attacks with minimal casualties, but the constant war of attrition slowly wears down those inside. The bodies of the creatures also need to be removed from the area after each attack, as the presence of corpses or even parts of corpses has been known to heighten the ferocity of the next night's attack. During the day, the staff return to a docile and unresponsive state, though they'll still defend themselves violently if anyone dares to attack. Over the course of the
Interesting.
interviews with the 14 escapees, Foundation researchers were able to answer another of their key questions. How had so many people gone missing in the store for so long without being noticed? But the answer
Exactly.
they received only raised many more unsettling queries. According to the escapees, there were people inside the settlements that, despite being otherwise of entirely sound mind and standard intelligence, seemed to lack very common knowledge that even a child should know. For example,
what?
some of them weren't aware of the International Space Station orbiting the Earth, or stranger still, the existence of the Statue of Liberty.
Wait a second. So everybody knows what those things are. So either A, they're stupid, or B, they're not from the normal universe that you and I know. They're from these alternate universes where maybe there isn't an International Space Station, or maybe they were taken, hold on, maybe they were put inside of this IKEA before those things even existed. So maybe some of those people in there are hundreds of years old. And maybe when you go inside this IKEA, you are now just you are basically invincible and you can never die. I don't know which one it is. I don't know. Maybe it's alternate universes, or maybe it's pulling people from different periods in time. Maybe it's pulling cavemen into this system and then they're just trapped there forever.
This led the researchers to a frightening conclusion. SCP-3008-1 may not only be a nexus point of multiple IKEA stores in our dimension, it could be connected to IKEAs in every dimension where IKEAs exist.
Wow.
While it only abducts a handful of people from each store over an extended period of time, it suddenly becomes clear how this SCP was able to trap so many people without detection over such a long period of of time, which in turn led to an even more terrifying revelation.
Also,
The
why
SCP
does it want to
Foundation may
trap
not
these
have
people?
SCP-3008-1 as contained as they thought. It might even be tucked away in an IKEA store somewhere near you, just waiting for you to visit.
Okay, let's go ahead and learn a little bit more about this SCP and how to contain it.
That's been left uninhabited for this long, rumors tend to spiral.
Like
Of course,
what?
there are the more mundane explanations for why the two-story, four-bedroom home on the end of a nice street lays in semi-ruin. Black mold, asbestos, rising house prices. But those weren't the stories that most people told. Everyone in the neighborhood knew what really happened. All
What
those years
happened
ago,
there?
The family that lived there had been murdered.
Oh, it's Harry
and
Potter.
The killer was never caught.
Oh.
The three young paranormal investigators,
It's
with
Avada
EMF
Kedavra.
readers in their hands and GoPro cameras mounted on their hard hats, know all about this. They approach the house in the dead of night, mumbling commentary for the recordings. If the old house really is as haunted as everyone says it is, then they could be in for something really good here. Their subscribers always loved brand new paranormal content. They use a crowbar.
Wait a second, guys. Why does this kind of remind me of like Sam and Colby or even Beck Bros? Sometimes on our Beck Bros channel, we'll investigate spooky, scary, haunted houses. And usually, you know, we don't run into anything that bad. But I have a feeling these guys are going to run into one of the most dangerous, most aggressive SCPs of all time.
To breach the front door and head inside. It's everything you can expect from a house that had been abandoned for 17 years.
Hey guys, it's me again. You just saw me 2 seconds ago, but if you guys have been watching the video for this long, you guys are now officially members of the Cookie Club. As a member of the Cookie Club, you guys seriously need to get your very own cookie plushie. Like, there's no way you guys have watched this video for over an hour and haven't scanned this QR code right here, or checked out BeckBroJack.co. If you already did it, great. If not, definitely go check it out, and make sure you guys use code Bessie for 10% off. All right, Cookie Club, let's get back to the video.
Dust, cobwebs,
It just says
and
boo on the
graffiti
wall.
abound. Broken bottles scattered across the floor. Someone has scrawled, "Welcome to Hell," above the door in faded Sharpie. It all plays perfectly for the cameras. Paranormal content gold. All of them turn on their flashlights, generously provided to them by one of their sponsors, of course.
What the heck, dude? They got
Particular
14 million
situation,
views?
They have no idea just how valuable
These guys are big
their
shots.
product really is. After all, there are some frightening things that hide in the dark. The leader of the trio begins ascending the stairs, narrating into his helmet cam, giving the more popular version of the house's legend. The perfect suburban family, torn apart, literally, by a killer hiding in their home.
Oh
The
my
family had all been
gosh.
brutally murdered by someone in their home, but the police never found any sign of unlawful entrance or exit.
So guys, I wonder if the family was killed by the SCP or if that created the SCP. Like, obviously the SCP, we know that it's called Eyes in the Dark, but we don't really know much about what it actually is. Like, is it a ghost? Is it a demon? Is it actually just like two eyeballs floating in the dark? And also, if it is, how does it actually like damage people? How does it murder people? I'm just really curious about how this SCP is such a dangerous Keter class SCP that has to be contained at all costs.
There were no clues to the killer's presence whatsoever, in fact. It was as if they were a ghost, a vapor. It was almost as though whoever killed the family had always been in that house, and even after the murders were committed, they never left the place either.
So they probably
As he
got
tells the
killed
story,
by the
lead
SCP.
investigator starts to feel a little nervous. Even though he himself doesn't really believe in the supernatural, he just plays up reactions for the views, he still can't help but wonder, should I really be here? Am I making a terrible mistake? Is there a chance that whatever did this all those years ago could still be in the house, waiting for me? But he pushes those thoughts from his mind. This gig is too valuable for him to wimp out now. And really, what are the chances that something actually dangerous would be lurking in the house?
Guys, I feel like this is exactly how some of the biggest ghost hunting YouTube channels are. Like, I feel like there's a small part of me that believes that they don't actually believe in the supernatural, that they're just playing it up for the cameras, and that they're getting really good reactions, and they're getting views from it, so they gotta keep doing it. Kind of like this guy right here. Like, he doesn't really believe in it, but he's getting paid to do it, so you might as well. But then, what if something real actually happens? Will you believe it? Will you even think that it's real? Will you treat it as an actual danger? Or will you just be like, nah, you know, this is great content. Let's go ahead and let's keep filming.
The other two investigators are still looking around downstairs, sticking together, their flashlight beams slicing through the darkness. Their boss always insists on going upstairs first. He demands the glory shot, after all.
Interesting. So that guy's in charge.
Searching the downstairs living room, dining room, and kitchen, where the best they can hope for is maybe a particularly haunted-looking dishwasher. It's why the younger of the two is so surprised when they suddenly feel something happening to their body that they've never experienced before.
Wait, what? Wait, do you guys see the little glowing particles?
Their whole body convulses with an involuntary shudder. They feel the temperature drop, and the world gets just that little bit darker. Okay,
guys, temperature dropping is a key indicator that there is a supernatural presence. At least that's what it said on the ghost hunting TV show that I watch.
The way they can describe the feeling is impending doom. Like any moment now, something terrible is going to happen. But almost as soon as the feeling begins, it's gone.
That's
Intensity
so
dropping,
weird.
The dread starting to dissipate, as though whoever or whatever caused this feeling literally passed right through
one of
them.
the ghosts went through that. And it's not even a ghost, it's an SCP.
Of course. They nod and force a smile. They're fine.
Look, wait, guys, look in the background. Do you guys see those little glowing particles? I don't know if those are SCPs or not, but they were not there a little bit ago. And I mean, based on the name, Eyes in the Dark, this SCP could be right behind them, and they have no idea.
It's just a spooky place, is all. Atmosphere like this would get to anyone. Meanwhile, the lead investigator is exactly where he wants to be, ascending a rickety stepladder up into the attic. The very same attic where, all those years ago, the police had found what was left of the family. And from
okay, so they were in the attic.
Their remains weren't a pretty sight, even by true crime enthusiast standards. He enters the attic and shines his flashlight around, capturing all the dusty old boxes left to rot in the cold.
Guys, keep an eye out for little shining eyeballs.
In the worst and final moments of a group of strangers' very real lives. The attic is full of spider webs and shadows. They're so ubiquitous that as the lead investigator pauses to tell his camera the next chapter of the grisly tale, he doesn't even notice one of the shadows peeling off of the wall behind him.
What?
It wafts
the heck?
Like a gust of midnight.
Nah, bro. Nah. Get out of there. Go. Turn around.
To take on a vaguely human
Wait, I thought these were supposed to be like eyes in the dark, not a shadow.
Direction. Arms extended like a classic movie monster.
Dude, look at that. Look at it.
Dark claws slide out of its
the heck is happening?
Downstairs, the other two investigators hear the most
my boy dead. He is deader than a fish in a Walmart on a Tuesday.
Could this be one of the tormented souls of the departed family, longing to be heard after years of silence?
I don't. Why would they think that? Why do they think that it's a real life ghost? Especially when they know that their friend is upstairs. Why would they think that a ghost is the one screaming? No, this is your friend being absolutely pulled apart by an SCP that's a shadow on the wall. I thought it was going to be eyes in the dark, but no, it is a shadow on the wall that is currently destroying your friend.
Then it occurs to them that they recognize the scream.
Well, yeah.
It belongs to their boss.
It's about time.
The two of them charge up the stairs, flashlights in hand, as the screaming starts to become more desperate and pained, like that of a wounded animal.
Okay, somebody should really call the cops.
Those terrible wails are echoing down from the open hatch leading into the attic. It's so dark up there, something must have broken his flashlight. That's when they notice something else. Red, dripping from the open hatch. For a moment, they hesitate,
dead.
Wondering what could be going on up there. Could they really help, or would they just be running into the danger themselves?
Guys, comment down below. What would you do in this situation if you're two friends and you look into the attic and you just see red coming from the attic? Personally, I don't know if I'm going up there. I'll be honest. I want to say that I'm a hero in the moment, but if I'm being honest with myself, I don't know if I would go up there because what am I going to do? Like, how can I help in that moment? But then some part of me wants to go see if, like, what if I could help? What if I could actually do my friend a service and save him? But I wouldn't know unless I went up there. And if I go up there, it might be too late for me. So honestly, if I had to be honest, I think that I'm booking it. I am getting out of this house and I am running for the hills. I'm going to call 911. Of course, I'm going to go knock on neighbors' houses. I'm going to get some help in there, but I do not think I am brave enough to go up into the attic. I'm curious what you guys would do. Comment down below.
But soon, their desire to save their boss's life overpowers their
they're going to do it. They're going to do it.
They grab the ladder and start climbing, feeling the dripping blood on the worn wooden rungs. When they finally get up into the attic, it feels like the scream is coming from everywhere, bouncing off the walls in a terrible, echoing cacophony of pain. They turn in all directions, hovering their flashlight beams around the room in wide, sweeping arcs, until both fall on the source of all this terror. And when they see it, they can't help but scream too.
Did he get turned into an
The lead
SCP?
investigator's body is floating about a foot off the ground.
No, he did not.
His screams now fading into pained gurgles. Something huge and dark is lifting him up with one
Oh,
hand. and
no.
sinking the long, dark claws
Oh
of its
my
other
gosh,
into his
it's
neck.
no longer a
The
shadow.
second the twin flashlight beams
It's like a
concentrate on the
Demogorgon
creature, it drops
upside
the
down
lead
creature.
investigator's bleeding body down onto the ground. His skin slate gray, his feeble twitching slowing to a halt as the last of his
Oh
life drains from
no.
him.
He
Two
dead.
glowing red pinpricks
Ew,
open up in the
dude,
face of the
what?
dark figure.
It's
Eyes like
Vecna.
terrible,
It's
burning
Vecna
holes
from
etching
Stranger
themselves
Things.
into their memory. Like smoke, it continues to glide backwards
And
further,
then
seeking
it's
refuge
gone?
in the dark, a safe haven amongst the other shadows.
Oh.
By this point,
So it
the two
doesn't
surviving
like
investigators
light.
know there's nothing they can do for their boss anymore. All that's left is to get out and survive. They have to save themselves. They turn, wasting no time running towards the exit. They don't notice it, but the second they turn the beams of their flashlights away, the shadow's terrible eyes disappear. and it starts
Interesting.
advancing towards them again. Its
So
claws
those were the
outstretched
eyes in the
and
dark.
grasping for them with awful fury.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Shine the
shadow
flashlight.
creature grabs
Shine
at
the
their
flashlights.
heads as they make their final leap for the exit.
Oh, gotcha, hat.
However, all the monster can pull away.
Okay, so
are their
that's
helmets
Jake
and
Paul
helmet
as an
caps
SCP.
As they scramble down the ladder and then down the stairs, running at speeds they didn't even think possible as the shadow slithers down behind them. It doesn't give up. It wants their lives.
Seriously, use the
Wants
flashlight. What are we
warm
doing right
human
now?
blood on its claws.
What are we doing?
They
Use
clear
the
threshold
flashlight.
of the accursed house and keep running to their car.
Can it come
One looks
outside
over
of
their
the
shoulder
house?
And sees the shadow leave the house.
Seriously?
gaining on them. Both claws
Dude, dude,
outstretched
dude,
and ready to
dude.
rend their flesh.
Bro.
The two climb
No,
into
no,
their
no, no,
car
no, no, no.
and see the
Turn
shadow
on
coming
lights.
towards
Turn on
their
your
window.
headlights.
It's moving
Turn
so
on the car.
quickly,
Turn on the
only a
car.
few feet away now. It's
Put the
getting
keys in
closer,
the ignition and
closer,
turn that thing on.
closer. Ignition.
Please,
The
yes,
car starts
yes.
up
Turn
and
on
the
lights.
driver smashes
Turn on the
pedal
lights.
down.
What are we
They take
doing?
off, quickly accelerating up to illegal
They're
speeds
panicking right
as the
now.
shadow
They have no
continues
idea what to do.
chase, slowly getting smaller and smaller in the rearview mirror.
Oh my
A
gosh,
distant
did they
nightmare. A
escape?
terrible, dark ghost. As it finally disappears,
Whew.
they feel a moment of
That was a
safety,
close call.
but really, only a moment. Because it occurs to them then that they cannot say with any confidence that this monster won't just be waiting for them when they get home.
Okay, that is creepy, guys. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the case because I don't know really much about this SCP. I don't know if it's going to be contained to the house or, like they just said, could it follow them home? If it can travel by darkness, it could technically go anywhere that it wants to at night unless they live their entire lives in the light where there's like no more shadows anywhere. Like they would need to have light on them 24/7 and carry a flashlight. And if this thing pops up, you got to shine it in between its two giant eyeballs, right in the forehead with a flashlight. That's the only way to survive.
SCP-280, also known as Eyes in the Dark, is one of the more frightening and dangerous anomalies contained by the SCP Foundation.
It's
of course,
glorious.
It likely won't be causing an XK-class end-of-the-world scenario anytime soon.
Well, that's
but
good.
If you happen to run into this nocturnal monster, it's likely to cause an end-of-you scenario.
Hey,
and
Dr.
remove
Bob,
you
watch
from the
out
world with
for that
extreme
shadow
prejudice.
behind you.
There's no way of telling just how many lives it claimed before the SCP Foundation finally got it into containment, and perhaps it's best to just not think about that.
That is true, guys. You got to think that this is one of those SCPs that would be so difficult to find because imagine you're those two kids. Like, what do you tell people? If you tell people that your friend died to a ghost shadow figure, like, they're not going to believe you. Who's going to believe that? They're going to get sent to like a psycho asylum, and then they're going to be bunkmates with the Joker. It's just not going to work. So I feel like the SCP Foundation, they would have taken a very long time to actually realize that this thing was a threat.
SCP-280 is a black wraith-like apparition that floats at roughly average human height, with no visible legs or feet. As
I
the
wonder
lower
how you
portion
can
of its body
contain this
simply
thing.
fades away before it reaches the ground. In its dormant state, the entity may appear to be little more than a shadow, easily dismissed, especially in dark environments. This comes as a natural result of the being's frightening ability to become intangible at will, and only become physical when it enters a state of active aggression toward a human target. In this intangible state, victims have even been known to walk through the shadowy mass by accident.
So it did go
While this
through
doesn't
them.
lead to any detrimental physical
Huh.
effects. Victims report that being inside the creature can lead to heightened
Pause.
states of anxiety, fear, and dread. Despite its body being wholly composed of an unidentifiable black matter, when exposed to light, the creature does begin to express a pair of glowing dots on its head similar to eyes, hence its frightening nickname. However, all tests indicate that these eyes aren't actually functional, Instead, they appear to be
Oh.
a kind of defensive measure, like false eyes on the carapace of an insect.
Ah,
These eyes are never
interesting.
shown when
So they're
SCP-280
meant to scare
is
you.
advancing towards a victim, only when it is in retreat, though this is only one of the entity's several defensive responses. If an area where the creature is residing becomes fully illuminated, or a sudden flash of extremely bright light is
It can
directed against
teleport.
it, then it will immediately dematerialize and appear in a different area.
Whoa.
The one positive thing that can be said about the hunting patterns of SCP-280 is that they're relatively predictable. The entity, it seems, only has an interest in human beings. When it selects
Well,
a
that's
target,
good.
it will pursue them
I guess.
relentlessly, approaching in its intangible form with its arms extended in what many describe as a sleepwalker pose. In this state, you may finally notice 280's claws, long, thin, and razor sharp. It may silently approach while the victim is turned the other way, or while they sleep soundly in bed.
Oh, that
or even
is
when they're paralyzed
terrifying.
in fear at the very sight of it.
Okay.
When SCP-280 closes the distance, it will begin to rip and tear at its victims with its claws.
That's
causing
what
massive
happened
physical trauma
to the
and,
family.
in some cases, death.
Wow.
Attacks range from 1 to 5 minutes of being relentlessly clawed at by the beast.
How did they figure that out? What did the SCP Foundation do? I guess just like every other SCP that they investigate, they use D-class personnel in order to figure out what the SCP does, how it operates, and also how it attacks. So they definitely sacrifice some D-class personnel to figure out that fact.
When the attack is over, it will simply expose its eyes, become intangible once more, and escape. You will not be able to overpower the creature. Foundation tests have shown that it has extreme physical strength.
So I'm really curious, guys, if it can go intangible, which basically means that it can go through solid objects, how can you contain this thing? Like, obviously, you need to attract it into an area, and then maybe do you have the surrounding area be completely lit up? Is that the only way to do that? So you have to have like pretty much like a box or like a room that is 100% dark, and then the surrounding area needs to be light so that if it does go intangible, it can't leave because then it would just get burned by the light that's around it. That's the only thing I can think of.
And it's capable of tearing apart solid steel with little effort. If it can't find any humans to victimize, then it will simply remain dormant, pressing itself up against a wall, in a dark corner, or within some other structure.
So it just
Which
waits
is why,
for
if
people
ever
to
you
come
feel
around.
nervous about a certain dark corner in a room near you, it is best to remove yourself from the situation as quickly as possible and remain in a brightly lit area.
So what Dr. Bob is telling me that my fear of running out of basements was not irrational. Every single time when I was younger and I had to go into a basement, when I had to turn out the lights, I would sprint up the stairs like I was Usain Bolt because I had a feeling there was something down there and I did not want to find out what it was.
It would perhaps be comforting to believe that SCP-280 is acting on some twisted form of animal instinct. After all, while the results may seem horrific to us, every organism has to eat, right? Well,
Is that what
sadly,
this thing
isn't
is?
the case here.
Is it an organism?
SCP-280 does not appear to eat, sleep, or breathe to survive.
Oh,
It never
fantastic.
consumes any of the matter torn from its victims.
So it just
The
does
best
it for
working
fun.
theory
It is
that the
sport
entity
killing.
simply enjoys the harm it causes, taking a degree of
What
perverse
is
pleasure
wrong
in
with
hunting down and
SCPs?
murdering its targets. There is no better nature to appeal to here. The SCP Foundation's ability to study the creature's biology has also been stunted, in part due to the creature's highly aggressive nature, and also the fact that its selective intangibility makes gaining physical samples almost impossible. Even capturing and containing the creature in the first place came partially out of blind luck. It first came to Foundation attention after a series
Police
of
baffled
mysterious
by
locked-door
murder.
murders in a small
Mysterious
Mississippi
murder.
township. In the most recent case, an entire family had been brutally murdered in their home, leaving only one survivor. A traumatized 9-year-old boy named
Aw,
David who locked
dude.
himself in the basement when he started to hear the screaming.
Poor little
He was
kid.
so terrified by the things he saw that night that he remained in a catatonic state for weeks afterwards, completely
yeah.
unresponsive to outside stimulus.
I can only imagine,
But one little
like,
detail
you're
saved his life.
traumatized
A
forever.
flashlight was clasped in his white knuckle grip, shining a bright beam of cold,
That's
white
how he
light
survived.
onwards. When David was removed and placed into medical care, officers began searching the building for any kind of clues as to how the other 4 family members were murdered. However, during this investigation, the police were just as vulnerable as the victims who'd been so recently slain.
Oh, wow.
While one officer was wandering around the attic, looking for any evidence they may have missed, SCP-280 emerged
No
from the
way!
darkness and attacked, tearing into his body with its long, deadly claws.
What?
Luckily for the officer in question, he survived the incident, though he was badly wounded. His report on the matter, including the ardent claim that he was attacked by a being, quote, made from black smoke, caught the attention of SCP Foundation operatives embedded in the precinct.
Okay,
They
that's
soon took over the
good. That means that they could
investigation and proceeded on
finally
the
get
house,
this
hoping
thing.
to tag and bag whatever had been behind all these deaths.
Yes, tag
This
and
would
bag.
be easier said than done. While Foundation field agents canvassed the home, they simply walked past the creature multiple times.
So at this point, they have no idea what they're looking for. They literally have only one piece of information, and it's that the police officer got attacked by black smoke. So if you're going in there, you're probably just going to be looking around for like black smoke, but you're not going to be looking for like a shadow on the wall. So I have a bad feeling one of these SCP officers is going to get attacked.
Discounting it as a mere shadow. After all, it only had these easily identifiable glowing eyes when it was in a retreating position. Even when it entered its physical state, operatives brushing up against it generally dismissed the sensation as hair, clothing, or some other object touching them in the dark.
Also, why did they not
This
just turn on the
already
lights?
bungled investigation got even worse when the Foundation decided to introduce high-intensity lights into the equation,
Oh.
hopefully flushing the creature out.
So that's going
This,
to
of
make it
course,
angry.
only caused it to dematerialize and appear elsewhere. The chase ended in an almost farcical fashion. A cavalcade of Foundation agents chasing a cloud of sneering black smoke across a Mississippi field at 2:30 a.m. Thankfully for the human race,
Just another day in the
entity
SCP
was,
Foundation.
at the very least, eventually secured and contained. However,
So they basically use flashlights to like scare the SCP into this room in the SCP Foundation.
this wouldn't be the last time it was out of containment.
Oh,
During
it
a series
escaped.
of tests with different types of illumination, intending to test SCP-280's reflexes, it disappeared from its chamber. It seemed almost to sink through the different levels of the illuminated site before coming to rest at the containment chamber holding SCP-1591.
It went into a different
This made for a
container.
fascinating accidental cross-test. You see, SCP-1591, to put it simply, is a unique sculpture of a star that emits an incredibly bright light.
That's
This light
not
will
gonna
slowly
work.
make any being subject to its glow intangible before disappearing completely. When SCP-280 came before SCP-1591, it displayed its eyes, but did not retreat. In fact, it assumed a kneeling position and simply remained before the anomalous sculpture until
What?
it faded from existence.
And
It
wait,
then remanifested
what?
in its own containment chamber several hours later. without
What the
incident.
heck?
All things considered, it went pretty well.
I
as far
guess
as
so.
containment breaches involving deadly, human-hating monsters go.
That could have been way worse.
Because of its abi-
What if they like merged together to create the ultimate like black hole of darkness? That actually would have been kind of sick.
ability to demanifest and phase through solid objects, SCP-280 is incredibly difficult to contain, earning it the dreaded Keter object class. In order to avoid the risk of demanifestation, SCP-280 is contained in a 5x5 meter cell that is perpetually left in a state of total darkness.
Okay,
No
that's what I said
equipment is to be
earlier,
left in
actually.
the cell unsupervised at any time, and any items brought into the cell for testing must be removed when the testing is complete. Any staff members entering the chamber for tests must be equipped with infrared goggles, an infrared ID strobe, and also a strong flashlight to ward the creature off in the case that it becomes aggressive.
Huh.
If SCP-280 does attempt to attack anyone in the chamber, all attending staff are instructed to turn on their flashlights and turn the beams against the creature.
That is
No
so
aggressive action is
dangerous.
permitted, and staff members must remain at least 1 meter away from SCP-280 at all times for their
Wow.
own safety. And if you suddenly feel yourself getting a little nervous in an eerily dark room, I'd like
Okay.
you to remember this. The
Yeah?
one thing more frightening than seeing eyes in the dark is not seeing them. A man and woman's hike through a gently rolling portion of the Rocky Mountains has just taken a turn for the dangerous. There's something there in the bush, the man tells her before stepping in front of her in a defensive
Oh
pose.
yeah, defend
They
your
watch the bush
woman.
intently. There's a slight rustling
What is
of the
it?
leaves as if
Ew, dude, it
something's
looks like a
inside.
tree butthole.
The man picks up a stick from the ground and holds it in front of him, ready to strike whatever fearsome beast is lurking in the
Okay,
under-
let's be real. If that's like a grizzly bear, my guy is about to get ripped apart into like a billion different pieces, and she's looking at him like she knows it. If she's smart, she should probably start running immediately.
brush. The rustling stops, but the man doesn't move from his protective stance.
He is sweating bullets
"Do you
right
think it's
now.
gone?" The woman asks.
I don't
The
think
man
so.
isn't sure. He leans in towards the bush, searching for signs of what might be hiding inside when
Oh!
the man screams
What
and
is
falls
it?
backwards as the creature emerges from the bush.
What?
The woman cries. it's a pika. She kneels down to get a closer look at the adorable little creature.
It was just
Pikas
a
are
little
native to this
rodent.
part of Colorado,
Oh my
and they resemble
gosh.
rabbits, but with small, rounded ears.
He looks
She
so
watches it
stupid
hop back
now.
off the trail before turning around to see
Wait.
her friend lying tangled in the branches of a tree.
Guys, check that out. Okay, that is no ordinary tree. That has to be SCP-867, which has the nickname the Blood Spruce. I have no idea what this thing does, but based on its name, it can't be anything good.
Tree. She can't help but laugh as she offers a hand to help pull him out of his predicament. Are you all right? She asks between fits of laughter. Yes, he's fine. The only thing hurt was his pride. He notices a small red spot on his arm and rubs it, but it doesn't seem to
Guys,
hurt at all.
I think he got
His attention is
infected.
diverted by the woman, though, who is marveling at the tree he was just stuck in. Free of the branches, he can appreciate now that the tree really is incredible. It looks like a huge
Whoa.
blue spruce, but the name is a complete misnomer.
Wow.
Because this tree is a vibrant red color. I've never seen anything like it, she says, and the man hasn't either. Neither knows what species it is, and strangely, there don't seem to be any others like it.
It's so much
Maybe this
bigger
is
than the
result
other
of an odd
trees.
genetic defect that turns blue spruces red.
Huh.
After admiring the tree for a moment, the pair decides that they've hiked far enough and that they should probably head back to the car. She jokes that he's likely exhausted from his run-in with a wild animal. He laughs, but clearly his ego
Oh,
has been
that's so
bruised.
funny. He's gonna die soon. He's definitely. See, guys, look, there's a
The
skull
man
and
stops
bones.
his car in
This
front of
guy's
the
going
woman's
to
house,
die.
and she thanks him for taking her on the hike. As she starts to get out, though, he stops her. He asks if she wants to go do something else, like dinner?
Wait, guys, okay, so I like to make predictions during these SCP videos, and I have a prediction. I don't know, it's kind of weird, but we know that that was definitely the Blood Spruce SCP, and we know that he fell into the tree, he has a little bump on his arm, so he's definitely 100% infected. Now, I'm curious, because we saw like bones and we saw stuff like a skull around the other blood spruce, I'm wondering if maybe that's how this thing multiplies. Maybe it infects people or animals, and then it like basically starts spawning a tree out of the infected area. That's what I think right now, based on the information that we have, but make sure you guys comment down below what you think, and don't cheat. I know some of you guys might fast forward and then comment down below what actually happens. Don't do that. Just make some guesses down below right now in the comments. Do it.
The woman thanks him for his offer, but she has to be up early the next day for work. Just a quick drink then? An hour? 30 minutes? The woman tries her best to let her friend down easy, explaining that she likes him as a friend and as only that. The man opens
Ooh,
his mouth to respond, but
rejected.
she stops him.
He doesn't have that
He valued
Ohio
their
skibbity
friendship
riz.
and wouldn't try to take advantage of it by using it as a backdoor to dating her. The man again looks like his pride has been shattered.
Wow.
He apologizes and admits that she is right.
Not only did this
It's
guy
just
get
that he has
scared
such
by
a
a
good time with her
squirrel,
that he
he
never
got
wants it to
infected
end.
by an
She gives
SCP,
him a sad
and he
smile as she
also
closes the
got
car door,
rejected by
and he
the love of
watches
his
her enter
life.
her house before he finally
This guy took
drives away.
3 major L's
It's
today.
2 weeks later when the man's phone rings.
Oh,
It's
2
his
weeks
friend.
later.
She explains that she's
Oh,
been thinking a lot
no.
about what he said in the car, and that she likes spending time with him too.
No!
Maybe there could be something
I
more to
mean,
their
that's great
relationship.
for him, but
The man can't believe
we
it.
both know
Is
that
really
this
happening?
guy is not
The
going
woman
to
is
make
serious.
it.
She'd like to take him up on that dinner offer, if he's still interested. Her treat. She
Oh,
wants to know what
gosh.
he's doing right. Ah!
Oh, there it is, boys.
Is he okay? What was that sound?
No.
Yes, I'm fine. It was nothing, the man tells her. It's just that now's not a good time. The woman doesn't understand. She thought he'd want to see her. She explains that she's leaving town for a work trip the next day and will be gone for a couple of weeks. She was hoping
What?
she could see him before she left, but the man cries
Oh,
out
dude,
again.
he is
He tells her
infected
that
right
he hasn't
now.
been feeling well all day.
No.
But that he'll be all right. Okay, well,
He's not
get well
going to
soon.
be okay,
I'll
guys.
call you when I get back. They exchange goodbyes.
Oh, wait, look
and
at
the
his
man hangs up
skin.
the phone.
He's green?
The man
Oh!
looks terrible.
Oh my
His
gosh,
skin is
yeah.
pale, and his
Yes,
face
he
looks
does.
hollow and gaunt.
No.
He looks down at his arm. He sees
Ew.
that the veins themselves appear to be moving,
What?
pulsing, and vibrating.
Ah, that's
He screams
gross.
again in agony and falls
That
to
is
the floor,
disgusting.
clutching his arm. After writhing on the floor, he manages to summon the strength to reach for the phone. His hand searches on the table above him.
Ew, it looks like he's
Eventually,
wearing a
able to knock it onto
glove,
the
but
floor.
it's actually just
He
his
grabs
own
the phone
hand.
and starts to dial. 911. Before he can press 1
do it,
again,
do it.
another wave
Ah,
of intense
no.
searing pain consumes him. Several weeks later, the woman
Oh,
is
she
standing outside the
came
man's
to
house.
his house.
Mail and newspapers are piled up on his front porch, as if no one has been in or out in some time.
So I guess this guy must not have like any family or friends. He's kind of a loner because nobody has checked up on him in multiple weeks other than this girl.
She knocks on the door, but there's no response. Hello? She calls out, but still nothing.
He turned into a tree,
She's
lady.
tried calling him several times, but he never answered or returned her messages. She tries the doorknob, and to her surprise, the front door swings open.
Okay, that's kind of
She
sus.
steps inside, and the room is dark. She's also immediately hit by a strong aroma of
Death.
She searches on the wall. And
maybe I
finds
was
the
right.
switch. She turns on the lights and can't believe what she sees standing in front of her.
I
There
was
in the middle of the room
right.
Is a massive spruce tree.
What?
Its upper branches pressing against the
That
ceiling.
is insane.
She reaches out and touches the tree's
Ugh.
vivid red branches. They feel sticky and wet. She pulls her
Oh,
hand away
ew,
and
ew.
looks down to see that it's covered in a red substance. That's when she notices something else.
The dead body.
Stuck in the tree
Oh my god. Oh, okay.
of her friend.
So guys, I was right. I mean, this is a horrible time to pause, but I was right. So this thing infects the person, and then it turns their body into like fertilizer for a tree to spawn. Now guys, I'm pretty sure there's a type of mushroom that does this as well. It's very weird, but I remember watching a video after I played the Last of Us game, which is about like this mushroom virus that can like take over different organisms. And there actually is a mushroom out there called cordyceps that does something similar to this. But luckily it can only take over like small insects like ants, but it can actually like take over their brain and then it starts spawning in the mushroom from their body. It is super weird, but it's like a real life SCP.
Unfortunately, this pair would never have the opportunity to see their feelings take root and grow, because unbeknownst to
Dr.
them,
Bob just
this
cooked with that
beautiful
one.
tree is actually a very deadly anomaly, known to the SCP Foundation as SCP-867, but which is perhaps better known by its very appropriate nickname.
The blood spruce.
SCP-867 is, or at least appears to be, quite similar to the species of tree Pisceae pungens.
I've never
better
seen that
known
tree
as the
before.
blue spruce.
That is such a cool
Of
looking
course,
tree.
There are a number of dramatic differences between 867 and its non-anomalous counterpart.
I mean, yeah, we can see, first off, the blood spruce is like double the size, and secondly, it's a different color.
Visually, and most obvious, is the coloration. While blue spruces, as the name implies, are typically a blue-green color, SCP-867 is a deep, vibrant red. There's another major visual difference too, with the blood spruce lacking any sort of seed cones that you would normally expect to find.
Oh,
With
interesting.
no pine cones to protect and spread seeds. You'd be right to ask how SCP-867 goes about reproducing.
We already
The
know.
answer to that question is what makes this beautiful tree such a dangerous anomaly. The secret to how SCP-867 reproduces is found in its leaves. While they look like pine needles, SCP-867's leaves are, in fact, needles.
Oh,
Their structure is very
what?
similar to that of hypodermic needles, and each one contains a single long, thin seed, which sits above a small gas pocket at the base.
Are you
When a living
serious?
creature touches the leaves, the tree immediately
Oh!
reacts. It triggers the gas pocket in the base of the
Wow.
leaf to release, which injects the seed into the skin of whatever touched it. The process is quite similar to that found in auto-injectors. Like
Guys, this is insane. So just like a lot of SCP videos that we've watched in the past, there's like, I don't know, just like some part of it feels like it could be real. Like obviously we know about porcupines and they have like really sharp, basically needles as their defense mechanism. And we also know that pine trees and like other trees in existence like thorns, they can pretty much like prick you and then cause you to bleed. Now, luckily, nothing that we know of actually exists today that like shoots a seed inside of you, which would be super weird. But I don't know. There's something about these SCPs where they're like almost real enough. It just feels like it could be real. Like if somebody like let's say Albert Einstein sat me down and he was like, yeah, there's a tree that can shoot you with the seed and then, you know, a tree will grow out of your body. I would believe it. I would be like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Darwin definitely studied that one, 400 years ago. That just sounds like evolution to me. But luckily, it's just an SCP, so we're safe for now, I think.
those used to quickly treat allergic reactions. The seed itself is extremely small and is coated in a liquid that has both anesthetic and coagulant properties.
So you can't feel
which makes
it.
the process virtually undetectable. Once implanted in the skin, These seeds can lay dormant for up to 2 weeks before they begin the germination process, and the true horror of SCP-867 is revealed. Once the seeds begin to sprout and grow, they will not seek to penetrate through the skin like a plant rising out of the soil. Instead, the strange plant will grow within its host's body, spreading throughout the circulatory system. This process is extremely painful for the host.
bet.
The plant's tendrils wind through their veins and
my
capillary
gosh.
system, stretching and pressing against them.
It
as the
literally
blood stream
takes
grows
over
within
the
them.
person's entire
Eventually,
organ
the ever-increasing
system.
size of the plant's tendrils becomes too much, and the veins will begin to rupture. This leads to severe
I don't
internal
like it.
bleeding, and soon after, the death of the host.
Okay,
The
okay.
entire process is quite quick, with it only taking 24 hours from when the seeds first sprout to the host dying. But that single day will feel like an eternity to the afflicted individual as they feel the plant rapidly growing inside of their body.
Okay, so it did only
But even
take
though the
one
host has
day.
expired, this parasitoid tree is far from finished with them, or at least their body. Soon after death, a new instance of
my
the blood spruce
pimple.
will burst from the body. The red tree is quite small at first, but it will continue to quickly grow, just as it did within its host's body, and can reach maturity in just 30 days.
What?
And unlike most other plants,
What?
SCP-867 is able to grow regardless of light or soil conditions.
how?
Because it does not produce food via photosynthesis. No, this plant is carnivorous. As it grows, the 867 will slowly consume its host's body until nothing remains except the blood red tree.
So how does it eat
Instances
after
of
it runs out of the
SCP-867
person?
were first identified in Colorado during the 1990s, following reports of numerous disappearances of hikers and park rangers. The SCP Foundation dispatched a team to the area to investigate, and they soon discovered numerous instances of the previously unidentified tree.
So that basically means that 3 people were out there and then they all like basically died, and then the trees sprouted out of nowhere.
Several still young specimens were acquired, though unfortunately, this led to the deaths of several agents.
How?
We're not yet aware of just how dangerous the red spruces could be.
How did you not
Once their threat
know?
level was properly assessed, several specimens were flagged for containment and research purposes, while all of the other identified
Yes,
instances still in the
that's
wild
what you should
were
do to this
destroyed.
SCP.
The remaining
Burn it with a
instances of
flamethrower.
SCP-867 were classified as Euclid and are now securely kept at a Foundation biocontainment site. Direct human contact with the plants is normally not allowed, and remote rovers are used for the majority of
You know,
tests and
that's
upkeep.
a big
If
brain
for
play
any
right
reason
there.
It is necessary for a human to enter 867's containment cell. They are to wear full hazmat suits with a Kevlar underlayer, and upon exiting the cell, must undergo a full herbicidal treatment and inspection. Should any possible puncture marks be discovered, they will be forced to quarantine for no less than 15 days. Ah, nature. It's so beautiful.
Wait a second, why would they quarantine for 15 days when they just said earlier in the video that it only takes 24 hours for this thing to kill the person? That was kind of weird.
Full and calming, yet seems determined to try and kill us in any number of ways. If you're out hiking or camping in the woods, try to remember this extremely famous adage which I may or may not have just made up. It goes, leaves of 3, let them be. Needles of red, well, you're probably already dead.
Check this out, boys.
Crooked and dilapidated on the very end of the last street in town. It's the kind of house that children share stories about and warn each other to stay away from. There isn't even any graffiti on it, rare for an abandoned building in this town. But nobody is brave enough to get close to it and risk their life if the rumors of its history are to be believed.
Let's go, babe. This place is
Black van
haunted.
containing 4 men pulls up along the curb outside the house. One of them has been black-bagged,
What?
zip ties cutting into the skin of his wrists. He was leaving a bar in town when suddenly he found the barrel of a 9mm semi-automatic pistol looking him in the eye.
Dude is getting
held by a man
kidnapped.
with every reason to pull the trigger.
Why?
2 other men had then emerged from the dark behind him. There was a brief feeling of cold metal against his skin as the twin metal barbs of the stun gun were jammed into the man's neck. His body then began to convulse as 50,000 volts of electricity ran through his body.
Okay, guys, I like to make predictions during these SCP videos, and I want you guys to do the same thing in the comments down below. Don't fast forward. I know some of you guys are little cheaters. Don't do that. Comment down below your actual thoughts right now. But I personally think that inside of this house, people think that there's a ghost, when in reality, it's just the Invisible Woman SCP. And she's trying to like get help and maybe move objects around, or maybe she can't talk because she's invisible or something. or maybe she is talking and she's invisible and people just think that there's a ghost in the house that's haunting them. So I think these guys, they're going to be like, oh, ghosts aren't real. But what they don't know is that SCPs are real. So once they go inside, the woman is actually going to help this guy that is now getting kidnapped, and then she's going to mess with the dudes and then eventually maybe kill the people that did the kidnapping. And then that's when the SCP Foundation is going to come and extract this woman and then contain her so that they can do tests.
And when he was finally able to open his eyes again, there was only darkness. The back doors of the van swing open, and the unfortunate man is pulled out by two of his captors. The driver joins to help drag the man down the gravel pathway up to the deserted house's front door. In his desperation, he offers any excuse he thinks might save him. Please, I just need a little more time. I can get the money, I swear. I've got another job lined up, honest. I start on Monday. Just a little longer, I'm begging you.
Ooh, he can't pay back his
All he receives
debt.
is silence as he's taken into the old house.
Ooh, bad boy.
There's no pleading, begging cliche that they haven't heard before.
Why are his
They've learned
kidnappers
to
so
just tune it
fancy?
out and get the job done. Click, click, click. The three men turn on their flashlights. The electricity hasn't been on in the uninhabited house for years. It's the domain of rats, roaches, and spiders now. The only evidence of life being the network of spider webs in every corner and the faint chittering sound of something coming from behind faded wallpaper.
Ooh, it's gotta be
only
the
reason
invisible
anyone would
woman.
ever choose to come here is when you needed to do something under the absolute cover of dark, which is exactly what they needed to do. The dark-suited men drop their weeping prisoner to the ground. He tries again to plead with them and receives a hard kick in the gut. It
Ew,
knocks the breath
no.
out of the man, and he is left wheezing in quiet pain, no longer able to speak. One of them finally pulls the dark bag from his head. His nose is bleeding. His eyes are equal parts bleary.
Bro
and
does not
afraid.
look good.
He only half understands his circumstances. What he does understand, though, is that it's looking increasingly unlikely that he'll be leaving this house tonight.
I don't know if it's just me, but this kind of reminds me of Peaky Blinders, and like the guy in the middle is Tommy Shelby, and the guy on the left is his brother. I don't know if you guys have seen that show, but if you have, comment down below if you think the exact same thing.
Men look down at the pathetic figure huddled on the floorboards. None of them really want to be here, but this is the job they've been paid to do. They are unaware, though, that they aren't the only ones watching.
Yes!
Somewhere in the dark is someone else.
I love these
Watches
SCP
them with
videos.
detached, almost amused curiosity. Taking in the deep dark of the house, one of the men wonders aloud whether it might be haunted. The man with the gun laughs as he pulls back the hammer on his gun and tells him that there's about to be one more ghost here. But just as he is about to pull the trigger and put an end to their captor's terrified blubbering, he suddenly hears something that gives him
Oh,
pause.
yes!
Something from above them, upstairs. Is he imagining it? Or are those particles of dust floating down from the ceiling, accompanied
What?
by the sound of footsteps?
Oh.
All of the men clearly hear it, and the three look around, shining their flashlights into the dark corners of the room. The one holding the man at gunpoint motions to one of the others to go check upstairs. He looks like he'd rather do anything else, but when the man with the gun, who is clearly the one in charge, turns and points his gun at him instead, the man finally concedes that he'll go check it out.
Guys, I never really thought about it like that. Like, what if what we think are ghosts, you know, these like extraterrestrial creatures that are invisible and they're like, you know, already dead, and then they just haven't passed over into the afterlife. What if they're just invisible things? What if they're like invisible animals, invisible people? Obviously, you know, to our knowledge, science says that we can't become invisible. That's just not how it works. But what if we could? What if we could? And that's exactly what ghosts are. They're just invisible creatures, invisible people, and they have no idea how to become uninvisible. Like, they're stuck like that. I would probably go pretty insane, and I would also probably haunt people for fun. I don't know. What would you guys do if you were invisible?
He draws a gun of his own from inside his pocket and starts making his way up the creaking stairs to the second floor of the house. The leader's mind is still on whatever's upstairs. His dumb lackey tried filling his head with all those goofy ghost stories, but he knows, deep down, it's probably just a raccoon or something.
That is the
When the
creepiest
driver
looking
isn't sure
raccoon.
there are no other witnesses, he'll finish the job, and they can all get out of this creepy dump. He calls up to the driver and asks him if he sees anything up there. Nothing, he calls down. I think we're...
Oh!
Cut off by his own sudden scream.
Yes!
By 2 gunshots, followed by a loud thump as something heavy hits the ground. The 2 men, both with guns out, crouch down in defensive poses. They call out again, asking what's happening, but they're only met with cold, unforgiving silence. Everyone is on high alert now. Even the bound man is now more afraid of whatever's upstairs than the men who brought him here.
I would be
Nobody
too.
dares move as, after what feels like minutes of silence, the footsteps resume upstairs again. The leader calls out again, asking what's going on. Still no reply. Just more footsteps. They follow the sound across the floor above them to the stairs, then listen as the steps start to creak again. Their eyes drift over where they see nothing. Are they going insane? The two hired guns share a panicked glance, as if to say, what do we do now?
Dude, I would get out of there.
Answer. A quiet, reedy whisper suddenly echoes through the stale air of the house. What sounds like a female voice, it rasps, "What are you doing in my house?"
Guys, I don't care how much money I'm getting paid. I am not staying in that house. I don't care. That was so creepy. And if you're inside of like a haunted house and you hear somebody talk to you and it wasn't your partner playing a prank on you, which would be very funny, but if it's not that, I am running out of there faster than my dad ran when he got milk and never came back.
The remaining lackey, consumed by panic, begins firing wildly into the dark. The captive and the leader both get as close as they can to the floor as bullets fly through the air, piercing the old wooden walls, causing roaches alike to
Ew.
scatter. Soon enough, the bullets are gone, replaced with only the feeble click, click, click of his dry firing.
They missed every
What's
shot.
going on in here? He thinks. This place really is haunted. Before another fearful thought can cross his mind, a lamp comes flying at him out of the darkness,
Whoa.
shattering into pieces of skin carving
Oh
ceramic
my
against his
gosh.
face. Next comes a book, then an old heavy phone, and then a dusty old
She's
grip
going
that strikes his skull
crazy.
with a monstrous crunch.
Whoa.
He drops to his knees, bleeding from both nostrils and the deep
Ugh.
gash cut into his forehead.
Bro
before
is not
flopping
doing
face
good.
Down onto the floor. He'll
Ew.
be lucky if he ever wakes up. Only the leader and his prisoner are left now, both confused, both afraid, both seemingly beset.
Dude,
by
just
a
get out of there.
Suddenly, the leader feels a hot breath on his neck and a whisper right into his ear. You shouldn't have come here.
Oh,
It hisses.
dude.
He turns,
Guys,
screams,
I'm
and
getting
fires once
goosebumps.
into the dark. Nothing. A strange, tinny giggle suddenly loops around him. It's everywhere and nowhere.
This is a
He can hear
nightmare.
Footsteps, but where are they coming from? They're simultaneously getting further and getting closer. An unseen fist collides with his jaw.
Oh!
harder than he's been hit in a long time. He stumbles, looking around for the assailant, panting like a prize fighter in the championship rounds. But there's nothing there.
Dude, just start
Nothing.
swinging.
Crack.
Just start shadow
Strikes the other
boxing.
side
Go.
of
Just
his
start
face.
punching.
Another giggle from the dark. He spits a tooth out as his mouth
Ew,
bleeds.
bro, she's a
Not knowing what
boxer.
else to do, he extends his arm and fires desperately. Maybe he'll get lucky. Or maybe not.
Guys, comment down below what you're doing in this scenario. Personally, I am performing the helicopter tactic where I spin in a circle with my gun as fast as possible, and then I just start shooting and punching furiously in a circle. I just keep spinning until something happens. I'm just gonna helicopter my way until I win the fight. That's the only way that I think that I'll come out of this alive.
A force wraps itself around his extended arm and pulls on it with a sudden immense pressure. It snaps before he has
Oh.
the chance to scream, his arm bending at the joint in the wrong direction. He lets out an agonized cry as he drops his gun to the ground.
He's gonna feel that in the
scream
morning.
is cut off. He takes
Ooh.
a punch to the solar plexus, sapping the wind from him as he spews out a thin mist of blood that settles
Ew,
onto the
my,
shingles.
yo!
A woman's face, staring
He
right
sees
at
her.
him, grinning. His terror and pain overcome him.
Okay, that
His
was
mind
kinda
snaps,
cool.
He faints from panic, collapsing to the ground in a heap. His jacket opens as invisible fingers work a handkerchief from an inside pocket and wipe the blood from the floating face,
Wow.
leaving only a floating, bloody handkerchief. The man on the ground, the one who was brought here against his will.
What's she
watches
going to do with
astonished
him?
and speechless as the handkerchief flutters down to the ground. All he can do is stare in amazement as the leader's arm flops limply upright, as the gold watch around his wrist unclasps itself and floats into the air.
Huh.
And then, with a strange gulping noise, disappears entirely. Footsteps creak across the ground. The front door.
Guys, I am so confused. First off, do we think that this is just a normal woman? Obviously, she's invisible, but other than that, do we think, like, does she have any superpowers? It seems like she might be, I don't know, some sort of kung fu martial arts master, considering that she just beat that guy into a living pulp. She broke his arm like it was nothing. I don't even know if I could do that to another person, even if I was invisible. So maybe she's trained in kung fu. Also too, why did she just eat the gold watch? Maybe it was to conceal it so that, anything inside of her mouth technically also turns invisible. So maybe that was it. Or she just likes passing time. I don't really know. I don't know why she did that, but comment down below your thoughts.
Door opens, then closes again, leaving the terrified man in silence.
That door looks
lying
like
on
a
the floor
chocolate bar.
Between two bodies. After a time, he finally gains the courage to stand up. He creeps nervously towards the front door and opens it. There's no one outside. Not that he could see whatever assailant just took out the group of men anyway.
Okay, so this
With
dude
one
just
last
somehow
look
got
back
out
into
of
the
that.
dark house. He steps out and closes the door behind him. He's free, and no matter how hard he tries, he will never understand the true nature of the invisible specter that just saved his life. But while none of the men will never know what they encountered that night, the SCP Foundation certainly does, because these are the kind of antics you can expect from SCP-347, also known by the somewhat obvious nickname of the Invisible Woman.
Well,
But
yeah.
she has another name, her own self-chosen epithet, Claudia.
Oh,
Foundation staff are
Okay,
currently
Claudia.
unsure whether this is the real name of the SCP-347 entity or a pseudonymized reference to Claude Rains, the English actor who portrayed Dr. Jack Griffin in the 1933 film The Invisible Man. Of course,
Interesting.
nothing is really as it seems when it comes to this particular anomaly, though it's easy to be more than what meets the eye when nothing meets the eye at all. Claudia, as I will refer to her both out of respect for her chosen name as well as for the sake of simplicity, is 164 centimeters.
Okay, so I'm guessing the SCP Foundation probably found her after, there were many reports of something like this, and then all they had to do was use some sort of like heat monitor to see where she was, and then bada bing, bada boom, you could see that there's a woman standing in front of me, but I can't see her, therefore there's the invisible woman. So I'm guessing that's probably how they found her.
In height and 55 kilograms in weight. And that's really all that is known for sure about her. because her
Interesting.
primary anomalous trait is, of course, that she is completely and utterly invisible. Although she seems to possess them like an average human, all parts of her body, including blood and hair, will remain invisible even if removed from her body.
That part's
Seems
really
that only
interesting.
Saliva and bodily waste become visible when separated from her body.
I'm just thinking, dude, there's just like a random turd that you see floating in the middle of nowhere, and it's secretly Claudia. She's just taking a dump.
As a number of disgruntled, mop and bucket wielding D-classes are more than aware. Claudia is able to see through what also must be anomalous means, since in typical humans, the cones and rods of the eyes must be visible for them to receive light and thus see.
Right?
Research is ongoing as to how exactly this is possible, as well as what it could potentially provide for active camouflage technology. By her own description, which due to her skittish and crafty personality must be taken with a grain of salt, Claudia is a mixed-race woman between the ages of 19 and 25, with
Okay.
brown eyes and wavy black hair.
How does she know that? How does she know what color her hair is, what color eyes she has? Is she able to turn on and off the ability? Or maybe she was an SCP that was created, maybe during like some scientific accident. Or, maybe she's just lying. Like they just said, maybe she's just like giving a description for herself just for fun and to play with the SCP Foundation.
She appears to have no anomalous traits other than her invisibility. No super strength or speed, no ability to fly. However, what she does have is a very particular set of skills. Skills that make her a nightmare to anyone wishing to keep her under lock and key.
So she's
Like, for
female
example,
Liam
the
Neeson.
SCP Foundation. The Foundation quickly learned that Claudia is an accomplished escape and infiltration artist. With the
Interesting.
lockpicking skills of a veteran thief. She's
Wow.
able to move while making very little noise, which complements her natural stealth advantages perfectly, allowing her to get in and out of secured areas easily. These are skills she's developed not only to survive, but to support certain psychological dependencies she suffers from. While Foundation psychologists have posited a number of mental conditions that could be affecting Claudia, two seem to have risen to prominence: kleptomania and pica.
Oh.
Claudia appears to be compulsively driven to steal as a kind of psychological crutch. Being invisible, naturally, makes her an impeccable thief.
Right.
However, when she has obtained the item of her desire, said item floating through the air is likely to draw unwanted attention. That is where her second strange habit comes in.
So she puts it
Pica
in her
is an eating
mouth?
disorder that causes sufferers to consume items that are not food, sometimes damaging themselves in the process.
Ew. I think my
Claudia
dog has
developed
that.
the unhealthy habit of swallowing some of the smaller items she steals, causing them to seemingly disappear until she later vomits the items
Ew.
back up.
Okay, that's kind of
When
gross.
interviewed on the matter, Claudia stated that she'd gotten the idea from watching Stevie Starr perform on a late-night television show. Star is a Scottish performer known for his ability to swallow and regurgitate items, though Star's ability doesn't extend far enough to meet the Foundation's threshold for anomalous. Before she was brought into containment,
I never really thought about that. Like, what if some just like really talented performer? I remember I used to watch this show when I was younger about like these superhumans of people that like could bend themselves in like a box, or like some really great climbers. Like, what if the SCP Foundation found somebody that could like climb something and they were just a super talented climber, but then they were like, no, that's actually an SCP ability. You are an SCP. And they thought that like he was Spider-Man or something, when it was really just a normal person with like this really cool ability.
Claudia had a preference for abandoned houses. The home where Foundation agents finally discovered her was one with a long history of reported poltergeist activity. As is standard in instances where spectral phenomena were suspected, the Foundation moved in with infrared cameras, allowing them to quickly detect the humanoid shape of Claudia.
Exactly
and
as
move in
I
to
thought.
Intercept her. Without the advantage of her invisibility, she had no chance of either evading or besting trained Foundation operatives in combat. Thankfully, it didn't need to come to that, and after a brief period of deliberation, Claudia gave herself up to the Foundation willingly in exchange for shelter and warm meals, both of which would be provided for her in containment. Prior to this, it's believed that she was effectively homeless for years
Aww.
and had been making ends meet in any way she could. She refuses to discuss her past directly, though a long string of ghost activity across the area and at least 2 deaths have been solidly linked to her activities. Being unseen for years of her life has taken an undeniable mental toll on Claudia, the isolation leading to instability and even violent outbursts
Oh, wow.
on occasion. Thankfully, she has responded well to treatment from Foundation counselors and psychiatrists, which has reduced the frequency of these violent outbursts significantly.
So it seems like she's just a normal person that, you know, either she was born with this ability or somehow she just got the ability of being invisible. And then luckily it seems like the SCP Foundation is doing a pretty good job. Like, they're being humane. They're not doing any random tests on her. They're actually giving her like a therapist to just try to help her live a normal life, because it seems like, unlike, you know, some of the Keter class SCPs like Shy Guy or the Statue or the Prototype that are super dangerous and like they're not even really human, it seems like she's just a normal human that kind of just got cursed with this random ability of being invisible. So she's kind of like an X-Men with just a weird power. And it seems like the SCP Foundation, surprisingly, is doing a good job, just like, you know, keeping her happy, giving her food, giving her a place to stay, and treating her, you know, kind of normally, at least.
As she recovers further from her traumatic past, there is hope that Claudia may even begin to recover from her kleptomaniac tendencies altogether, allowing her to live a normal, well-adjusted life, or as much as one can hope to live while still remaining invisible. There's even more good news, though. Since entering containment and undergoing recovery, Claudia has become much more social.
Oh,
she
good.
enjoys interacting with other people, especially when they treat her as though she's an average person. And some of her actions have even been described as bordering on flirtatious.
Oh, no
She
way.
enjoys interacting physically with people, and often plays impish pranks on the unsuspecting people sent into her chamber, such as rearranging or taking items to confuse them. She also shows, for unknown reasons, a particular fondness for interacting with people as they sleep, often touching and stroking
Oh, weird.
them, though it may have been one of the only ways she was able to have human contact prior to entering Foundation custody.
That makes sense.
While she describes this as feeling right, those who experience it from the other side describe it as feeling unnerving, as
Well,
though they've been
yeah.
touched by a ghost. Naturally, due to being an intelligent escape artist that is impossible to see through conventional means, Foundation containment specialists have needed to go all out on her containment measures, both to keep her contained and to keep her comfortable enough that she has no desire to attempt a containment breach. She is kept in a 5-meter by 5-meter room in Site 17, constantly monitored by a remote infrared camera, and in addition to infrared detection systems, Claudia is also visible in ultraviolet light, expanding the Foundation's means of seeing her.
Oh,
Her
interesting.
room has an ensuite bathroom with a shower and bathtub, and is furnished with a queen-sized bed, several oversized beanbag chairs, 2 armchairs, a desk and swivel chair, several bookcases, and a TV with
Yeah.
a DVD player.
That's not that bad at all.
Bookcases are filled with various books, primarily adventure novels, Harlequin romances, and art books. She's allowed DVDs of various movies and
Schmeck.
TV shows predating her arrival at the SCP facility, and may request new material to be reviewed every so often. Claudia is given access to any clothes she pleases, though she often prefers to remain unclothed to take advantage of her full invisibility.
Okay.
She does on occasion wear wigs and makeup for her own amusement. Her room must remain locked at all times when she is inside it.
I am kind of curious too, like what if, obviously we just saw her put on like lipstick and eyebrows, but what if she just like put on, I don't know, like a bunch of paint or like foundation? Wouldn't she be able to see her face then? Or at least like kind of see her face? I guess it would be kind of weird though, because like you wouldn't be able to see her eyeballs because you can't really put anything on your eyeballs. But maybe if she put on sunglasses, like, I don't know. I feel like if she put on enough clothes and other things, like she could technically pass as a normal looking person. Yeah, that would be kind of interesting to see.
And 2 guards are required to check the door for any signs of tampering every hour. The door is only unlocked to allow staff members in and out of the containment chamber for the purposes of research and enrichment. Claudia enjoys chatting with staff members who bring her food, though said staff members are discouraged from forming attachments that are too close to Claudia. It may allow her to manipulate them into helping her escape or gain special privileges. On the rare occasions when Claudia is allowed to leave the room, she is mandated to wear gloves and a layer of grease paint over her face to give personnel awareness of her hands and facial expressions.
Okay.
If she does attempt violent action or escape, she must be apprehended immediately and placed back into her room. In the event of an escape, infrared goggles will be distributed to all personnel, and any strange phenomena around Site-17 will be reported. Thankfully, escape attempts are quite infrequent, and while she currently has the Euclid Object class, pending further therapy, her containment class may be upgraded to Safe class. Of course, the Foundation keeps any containment breaches close to the chest, and if there was a recent containment breach, you'd have no way of knowing. For all you know, she could be watching you right now.
When an anomaly is first detected by an SCP Foundation field agent,
All right,
it's
that's
up
an
to the
SCP field
Foundation's
agent.
mobile task forces to tag and bag the impossible entities before they can do any more harm.
All right, yeah.
Sometimes these retrievals are uneventful. Other times, not so much.
Yo, they got
Especially when
destroyed.
they're dealing with brutal forces of nature, like SCP-096.
Also known as the Shy Guy.
A creature that, from the very first interaction with the Foundation, had a reputation for being dangerous and needed to be.
Oh yeah, for those of you guys that don't know, the Shy Guy is basically this giant humanoid white creature that covers its eyes, and if you accidentally look at it, you're basically dead. I don't know exactly why Shy Guy is so shy, so maybe today we'll figure it out. This animation was made by SCP Explained. The link to their channel will be down below in the description.
A series of vague sightings and mysterious disappearances up in the frosty mountains of the Yukon first sparked the Foundation's interest.
That's
They were
kind of
certain that they
spooky.
had an anomaly on their hands.
Yeah,
Two
makes
retrieval
sense.
teams, Zulu 9A and Zulu 9B, were dispatched to secure and contain the entity.
They're
Zulu
gonna
9A
die.
took the lead in a heavy-duty chopper, equipped with 50 caliber GAU-19 heavy machine guns, and
They went with full-on machine guns and 6 guys that all had guns on their bodies as well, and they have a huge helicopter, so they shouldn't lose. But SCPs are kind of a little bit dangerous. That's why SCP stands for Secure, Contain, Protect. If you find one of these creatures, you secure it, you contain it, and then you protect it from other people.
and carrying an AT-4 anti-tank launcher.
They have a
They
tank?
were prepared for anything, or so they thought.
How are they going
established
to
a
lose to
visual
Shy
on
Guy?
SCP-096 while 2 clicks away from the target.
Yo.
They couldn't get a clear line of sight on the creature, but it appeared to be stationary.
This thing basically looks like the opposite version of Slenderman. Instead of being like all black with a white face, it's just all white and it has like little tiny black eyes.
They couldn't get a clear line of sight on the creature, but it appeared to be stationary.
They're slowly
docile,
approaching it with
was
a
making no
P90
attempt to
and a
flee.
rocket
Piece of
launcher.
cake, right? Little did they know that
Don't look at it.
SCP-096 was just looking away from them.
Don't look at it, he just looked at me!
Facing towards them, it'd be a whole different horror story, as Zulu 9A were about to find out.
As soon
The
as
team
you look
landed
at this
their
thing, they're
helicopter
dead.
Next to the
They're
creature,
gonna
and
die.
were shocked to see that it was completely naked, in spite of the sub-zero temperatures all around them. The creature was unnaturally thin, as though it had been starved for weeks, with bone-white skin and unnaturally long limbs.
Did you see how
The
long
team
its
guessed
arms
that The
were?
creature's arms must have been at least 1.5 meters long,
What?
but its docile nature and insubstantial body mass gave the impression that it wouldn't prove too difficult to contain. That is,
So obviously this creature looks kind of weird. It's like, almost like Bigfoot lost a bunch of weight and also all of its hair. So they don't really think it's a problem, but little do they know that this is an SCP. Not any SCP, this is Shy Guy.
that is, until they saw its face.
You guys
Zulu
are
9A's captain was
dead.
the lone survivor of the incident. As he was lucky enough to be looking away when the creature turned towards his team.
Oh, they looked at
The
him.
rest of the squad ended up staring eye to eye with SCPs.
That's not what you do with the SCP-096.
From that moment on, wasn't docile anymore.
Nope.
The creature began to whimper, then cry, then sob uncontrollably
It's so creepy.
in a way that sounded eerily human. This sudden change in temperament startled the rest
They
of
started to
Zulu
shoot
9A,
it?
and they opened
Why
fire
would they
on
do
the
that?
creature. Under the hail of gunfire, SCP-096 entered a murderous
Look how big its
frenzy
mouth
and
is.
began tearing into the hapless squad of soldiers. While its flesh and organs did seem to take damage
That
as a
is
result
nightmare
of the
fuel.
barrage of 50 caliber rounds from the helicopter-mounted machine guns, its skeletal structure remained
Its body just looks like a slice of white Swiss cheese. It's about to eat a grown man alive.
50 caliber rounds from the helicopter-mounted machine guns. Its skeletal structure remained intact.
my
and
gosh.
it continued its onslaught.
He's
tearing
gonna
the
eat him.
team limb from limb, even after they'd blown practically all the flesh from the creature. The AT-4 anti-tank launcher proved equally ineffective at stopping SCP-096.
It survived a tank
while
explosion?
attacking. And it was only after slaughtering
How?
the entire team that it returned to its docile state.
Oh my
Nobody
gosh.
knows exactly what the creature did to Zulu 9A after the gunfire started, but no trace of the team was left behind.
It probably ate
Zulu
them all,
9B touched
right?
down soon after, and with a grave warning from the captain not to look at the creature's face, they were finally able to subdue it.
It's a really good thing that at least one of them survived so that they knew how to deal with the SCP. Most of the SCPs have like one weird trait so that you're able to use that and then capture them. So with Shy Guy, all you have to do is not make eye contact with him. He's super shy. He might have social anxiety, so you just like, you know, keep your head down, and then as long as you do that, he won't attack you.
A
Good
bag
work,
was placed
Captain.
over SCP-096's face, which seemed to soothe it enough to
Oh,
move
they
it
just
to
put a
nearby
bag over
Foundation
its head.
facility.
That's so
Little
sad.
did they know, they just obtained one of the deadliest SCPs of all time. And while it may have been under lock and key for now, it seemed inevitable that it would get out and cause more violence and chaos.
How would it get
Research
out?
and containment procedures for the SCP-096 were put under the command of Dr. Dan,
Dr.
a senior
Dan.
researcher at the site. It was his job to find out exactly what this being was capable of. And the more he tested,
So for those of you guys that don't know about SCPs, the person going in the orange jumpsuit is called a D-class personnel. They're basically like prisoners in jail that like are on, I think, death row, and then they're given to the SCP Foundation to use as experiments for the SCPs. Yeah, it's bad.
the more he tested.
So Dr. Dan's
more he
basically sending this
realized that they were
dude
dealing with
to get
something
eaten by
truly
SCP-096. Yeah, that dude just
Disposable
got
D-class
ripped
personnel were
apart
used
to
to
shreds.
figure out exactly what it was that caused the creature to enter its attack.
Oh!
Just as it had during the initial retrieval mission, SCP-096 went berserk when any of
looked
the
at it.
attending personnel saw its face. In
Yeah,
this stage,
why is he
it would
walking
enter a
like
period
that?
of considerable and unstoppable distress for 1 to 2 minutes, covering its face and wailing loudly.
I
When
feel
the
kinda
period of
bad for
distress
it.
ended, the creature would mercilessly slaughter every D-class that had seen its face, and just like with Zulu 9A, no trace of their bodies would be left behind.
Because they get eaten
Dr. Den was
alive!
horrified and intrigued by this phenomenon. The
Yeah,
creature
seeing
killed
its face
anyone that
equals
saw
death.
its face directly, but could the same be said for indirect depictions of the creature's face, such as images and videos?
Wait, that's actually a good question because I've never heard about maybe taking a picture of SCP-096 and then if you do that, maybe you're good. Or what if you look at it through a mirror? Does it still count?
Such as images and videos. Dr. Dan was desperate to find out. More D-Class personnel were brought in to test this, to frightening results. Dr. Dan found that the creature did indeed still enter attack mode when people saw pictures and videos of SCP-096's face. The creature seemed to have an innate sense of when people were viewing these
How?
representations, even when it should have had no conceivable way of knowing.
Wait, does that mean, am I gonna be okay? I am watching a video of SCP-096, right? But it's just an animation though, so I think I'm good, right?
Conceivable way of knowing. It didn't matter how far away or how many barriers were in place between the viewer and the creature. The attack mode would still activate.
How does
And
it
once
find
did,
it?
It seemed as though nothing could stop the creature from hunting down the one who saw its face. With all of this new data,
Okay.
special containment procedures were devised to keep the creature safely under
Yeah,
lock
that's a
and
good
key.
idea.
Its cell was a 5 meter by 5 meter by 5 meter airtight steel cube. fitted with advanced pressure sensors and laser detectors to ensure
Okay, cool.
that
So it's not gonna escape that.
SCP-096 remained in its cell without risking anyone having visual contact with the creature's face. All cameras and video equipment were strictly forbidden, and weekly checks for any cracks or holes in the containment cell were mandatory. Of course, none of this would stop the creature if anyone somehow saw its face. In order to solve that little problem, Dr. Dan would need to continue his research. To find a method of subverting the creature's deadly glance, they needed to know exactly what they were dealing with. But how could they?
Yeah,
When
if
even
they
a
can't
glance
look at it,
photo or video of the being
right?
meant
So
certain
how are they
death.
going to figure
A
out
potential
what
solution
stops
was
it?
proposed, creating an artistic representation of the creature's face, something that hadn't yet been attempted. But how would they achieve such a feat? Simple. They'd procure a D-class prisoner with some artistic talent.
And wait, it's going to look at the Shy Guy SCP, but like after it does that, it's just gonna die. They're just setting up this man to die. I guess it's the only
They
way to
found one
actually
who
get
had
to
been
the
a
bottom
tattoo
of
artist
this.
Before becoming a Foundation guinea pig. Dr. Dan formulated an ingenious plan for keeping this D-class alive for long enough to accurately draw an image of SCP-096's face.
Maybe
He
a
would be
bunch
placed in
of
a
bulletproof
bathysphere diving
steel?
bell several
Wait, what?
kilometers underwater and tens of kilometers away from the containment cell where the SCP was being held. The D-class was made to look at a photograph of the creature's face and then replicate that image in a pencil sketch. Dr. Dan first confirmed that the creature's attack mode is only activated by the creature's face by having the D-class look at a series of photos of the SCP's body parts, one by one, finally finishing with its face. The D-class began drawing
Okay, so
and
it's
even
gonna be able to
remarked
draw
on
it
how
all.
creepy the SCP's facial features were, despite not knowing the deadly context. Meanwhile, back in its containment cell, SCP-096 sensed someone viewing its face.
How?
And entered its inconsolable crying state, followed by its attack mode.
It was able to
of
break
containment
out?
easily and began making a beeline for the D.
It broke out of steel! 5 foot by 5 foot by 5 foot steel! That's crazy. This thing is basically the Incredible Hulk, except it's white and skinny and has teeth that are going to grind up anything that it touches.
It broke out of containment easily and began making a beeline
I don't like
for the
this creature.
D-class, traversing the miles between it and its prey.
How
The D-class
did it get
didn't
there?
know it, as he locked the finished drawing into a separate, autonomous submersible, but he was already dead.
Oh
As
my
the drawing
gosh.
made its way up
It
to a
went
researcher
deep
on the
underwater
surface,
to kill the D-class
SCP-096
personnel.
dived into the water and started swimming down towards the artist. Minutes later, the bathysphere was breached, and the D-class was torn to shreds. SCP-096 was recaptured without issue by Surface Recovery Team Foxtrot 303A.
Okay, so
And
they
further
got him
testing
back.
on the drawing showed that artistic representations of SCP-096's face were in fact harmless. From this
Okay, so that's
experience,
good.
We now know that the creature has a gaunt face with totally white eyes, possibly indicating blindness and a grossly extended jaw.
So as long as you look at the creature and it's not a direct picture, you're safe. So we're good. We've been looking at animators that have drawn SCP-096. So we don't have to worry about Shy Guy coming to our houses and, eating us. So that's nice.
Nevertheless, Dr. Dan was adamant that SCP-096 was too dangerous to be left alive. and
Yeah,
requested
that makes
permission from
good
the upper
sense.
echelons of
Good
the
job, Dr.
Foundation
Dan.
to terminate the creature by any means necessary.
But how?
However, the doctor's request would fall on deaf ears. Until it all started with a seemingly innocent image. While it's now been redacted for your safety, the black speck inside the yellow circle was once a minuscule image of SCP-096,
What?
taken unknowingly in the 1990s by a semi-professional mountaineer. One day they were looking at old photographs when his eyes passed over the
No.
tiny speck without even noticing that he had seen anything. But SCP-096 noticed.
How?
Began entering its attack.
It was just a tiny
It
little
tore through
speck.
its
We
steel
couldn't even
containment
see
unit
you,
like
you
tissue
psycho!
paper, causing the release of a nerve agent that killed a number of attending Foundation staff. The monster then fled the base and began pursuing its prey, with Mobile Task Force Tau-1 in hot pursuit.
You gotta take this
Dr.
thing out.
Alexei, who was helping to manage the site where the SCP
Call the
was
army,
contained,
call the Navy,
was
call
understanding of the
somebody.
situation.
Get some
Dan
aliens.
was out of the country at the time, trying to
no.
discover more about the creature's origins. However, he did leave the Mobile Task Force with a new secret weapon against the rampaging Shy Guy.
What are they gonna
Project
use?
Scramble. Scramble were state-of-the-art goggles featuring a new technology created by Dr. Dan, which, using artistic renditions of 096's facial features, could detect and scramble the features of SCP-096 into an unrecognizable form, preventing the normally deadly effect of gazing upon its face. In theory, This would allow MTF Tau-1 to engage safely with 096 once its prey had been eliminated and bring it back into containment. But disaster struck on two fronts. First, the prey in question was located in a population center, creating the potential for a huge loss of life. And the second bigger problem was that the scramble technology didn't work. As stray pixels of the creature's face would reach the eyes of the task force before the internal microprocessor had time to scramble them. The mission turned into a death sentence, as SCP-096 slaughtered almost the entire
It just went on a rampage.
as well as a number of civilians in town, including an infant and its entire family.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
a monumental disaster.
Yeah, that
made
sounds
even
terrible.
worse by a final revelation. Dr. Dan and Dr. Alexei had themselves facilitated the entire containment breach and allowed the resulting massacre to happen. With
Wait.
Dr. Dan hoping it would be enough motivation for Foundation Command to
Dr. Dan did it? He was behind this entire plan? Bro, you're a savage. Why would you do that? I mean, I understand that, like, he wanted to destroy the creature, but he just released it into the world. That's awful. You should have just, like, kept it in captivity. That's part of your plan as SCP Foundation. Secure, contain, protect, not to kill it.
greenlight his research into destroying the creature. Anything that would give him the opportunity to kill this thing would be worth the bloodshed. His plan worked, and the SCP Foundation saw it his way.
Okay, so now they're gonna try to kill SCP-096.
096. However, success comes at a cost for Dr. Dan. Once he figures out a way to finally kill the creature, though done in his line of duty, he himself will be terminated by the Foundation for his crimes against humanity.
Okay.
But considering
like
how
that.
much damage SCP-096 is capable of causing if
They're
it
all
ever
just
got to
looking
a
at
major
him.
population center,
Oh,
or
no.
even worse, was ever caught on camera and broadcast to a worldwide audience, the doctor himself would likely deem his own death a justifiable cost. To this day, the Foundation is researching ways to kill the creature, and they're still looking for their silver bullet.
Yeah, I don't know if there is going to be a
Pressure
way.
is on. They hadn't known about the seemingly innocent picture that sparked the last containment breach, the one taken decades ago, in which the Shy Guy had only occupied 4 tiny pixels. 4 tiny pixels that resulted in multiple innocent lives lost. So be careful where you look, because who knows how many other photos of the creature are lurking out there.
Okay.
Photos with an innocent dot
That's
in the
scary.
background. Your eyes glance over it, not even noticing the little blip, until you hear a distant wailing that seems to be getting closer and closer and closer.
In the middle of one of his regular night jogs through the park.
That kind of looks
He
like
loves
me.
running through this park at night. It's dark, the air is cool, and the sounds of the city that surround the park disappear,
Okay.
offering peace, quiet, and a small reprieve from the busy
This
world.
is kind of scared. I guess he's in
He jogs
Italy.
along a path that
Italian
winds through
man.
the park and starts upon a section that is surrounded on both sides
What is
by
that in
tall
the
trees.
distance?
He follows the path around a sharp bend and is stopped in his tracks. Standing there in
Oh.
the middle of the track is a figure.
Is that
It has
Dwayne
its
The Rock
back to it
Johnson?
and isn't moving.
Probably
He's
not.
tall and so uniformly black that he almost disappears into the night. Whoever or whatever this is, he's scared of it. But the creature
Well, yeah.
doesn't move, and neither does he. He's
Okay.
frozen, unsure of what to do, when the creature suddenly turns his head towards him, revealing a pair of bright, glowing eyes.
Okay,
runner
it's
is so
time to
terrified to
skedaddle.
take his
Actually,
He
yeah,
falls
get
and
out of
crawls
there. You
backwards
should
in the
really,
dirt,
you should really
trying to
leave.
Get away from the creature.
Dude, get
The
out
creature
of
turns
there!
its body towards
Oh
him
my gosh.
and begins stepping forward. The runner scrambles to
Oh
his
my
feet and
gosh,
runs.
dude, he's gotta run.
Sprinting as
Yes,
hard and
go,
as fast
go,
as he
go.
can. Adrenaline pumping, heart pounding.
Comment down
trying
below
to
what
put
you
as much
guys would do in
distance
this
as he can
situation.
between himself and that.
Oh my gosh.
Thing.
Oh my
His
gosh.
muscles burn.
I would
His
call
lungs
911
ache.
immediately. I don't know why he's not like talking to somebody.
Finally,
I
he's
would.
back at his house.
I mean, he did good, right? So he like turned around, he ran, he got out of there as fast as possible. But he's wearing headphones, which makes me believe that he's listening to music on some sort of phone, unless he's weird and he has like an iPod Nano from 1992. But okay, so he should have probably pulled out a phone, called 911, been like, "Hey, there's this like I don't know grizzly bear looking creature in the park. We should probably call PETA and get them out here to decide what to do with it." But he did everything else right. He ran home. He's doing okay. Hopefully he didn't get followed. But we know how these SCP videos normally go. And I have a bad feeling this guy's not going to survive the night.
He bursts through the door, locking and bolting it behind him. His girlfriend is reading on the couch and doesn't understand what's going on.
Hey,
After struggling to
hey,
catch his
Jeremy,
breath,
you
he tries to
okay?
explain what he saw on the path, but his girlfriend just laughs. A giant man with glowing eyes? He was just seeing things in the dark.
Seriously? Seriously, girlfriend? Seriously, Susie? You're gonna laugh? After your boyfriend, covered in mud, he's sweating from head to toe, he looks like the abominable melting snowman right now, just told you a very serious story about how he was getting chased by a giant creature with glowing eyes. All right, even if you don't believe him, you should probably, I don't know, be a little bit more supportive and be like, hey dude, it's gonna be okay. I don't know what you saw, maybe you saw something, or maybe you were seeing things, but if anything, he is very scared right now, and he could probably use a hug.
It was probably a dog, nothing that would justify the panic he was now in.
That was not a dog.
The next day, he's left wondering if he really was mistaken. Those piercing, glowing eyes are burned into his mind, though. Maybe his girlfriend was right, and it really was just a dog.
No,
Yes,
she's
that must
gaslighting
be it.
him.
His mind was just playing tricks on him.
Don't
in the
get
dark.
gaslit,
Even
Jeremy.
so, he's going to stick to running inside, at least for a little while. But he soon finds that he's having a hard time. He
Why?
notices that he's running out of breath much quicker than normal. Is he coming down with something? He doesn't feel sick, but then why is he suddenly so weak?
Okay, guys, I wonder if this is kind of similar to some other SCPs that we've studied in the past, where you don't even really have to interact with the SCP. Some SCPs, all you have to do is look at them, and then you'll be infected with whatever this virus is that they can spread. So I'm starting to think that maybe all you have to do to get infected by the boogeyman is to look at him. And then maybe, I don't know, this is a wild theory, but maybe if you look at the boogeyman, you'll become the next boogeyman. Like maybe sooner than later, he'll become this giant beast that has like fur all over and has really big glowing eyes. And he just spends his nights in the park waiting for other people to infect.
2 weeks have passed since he saw something in the park. No one he brought it up to, not his friends, not his co-workers, have ever heard of such a thing.
What?
And no one seemed like they believed him either. At this
Seriously?
point, he's feeling sure that he really did imagine it.
This guy needs new
Get
friends.
that image of whatever it was out of his head. He can't keep running on a treadmill forever, though. He misses his night runs. It's time to get over his fear. He's running through—
Okay, also guys, the main thing that I'm thinking is like, just don't run in the same spot. Like if you're gonna go out on a night run, that's fine. Go to like a more populated area. Go to like a little part of the city that has lots of people, so then it's not gonna be as scary. You don't have to go back to the same park where it is pitch black and there is a potential boogeyman that is going to get you. You don't have to do that. Just go somewhere else.
the park again, enjoying the silence and the light breeze on his skin. He continues down the path, acutely aware that he's getting closer and closer to the
Oh, this
spot where
guy's
he saw
dead.
that thing before.
This guy is so
He can't
dead.
stop, though. He has to prove to everyone that he's not afraid. He has to
You
prove it to
should be
himself.
afraid.
He reaches the part of the path that runs through the tall trees. Just like before, the sounds of the city melt
Stupid
away.
Italian
The
man.
sound coming from his steady, heavy breathing. He
Dead.
follows the winding path.
He's dead.
And feels his heart starting to race.
He's dead. Turn
He has to
around.
keep going.
Turn around,
He
dude.
rounds the same corner, and nothing is there.
Oh my gosh. No.
He slows to a stop. Of course nothing is here. Nothing ever was. He really did imagine it. Or did he?
Doctor, but yeah, there he is. There he is. He was trying to get my guard down. I knew it. I
Today's file
knew
comes from
it.
the Italian branch of the SCP Foundation. SCP-015-IT, also known as the Boogeyman.
So the boogeyman is an Italian man.
SCP-015-IT
Interesting.
is a humanoid entity that stands just under 2 meters tall. Its body is devoid of any hair, and its dark, black skin absorbs 98% of all light.
Italian
making it
men are
virtually
scary.
invisible in low light. Its head lacks a nose or ears, but these missing features are hardly noticed.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of like a very burnt version of Shy Guy.
Because if you see 015-IT, its eyes are what demand all of your attention. While the boogeyman's skin is completely black, its eyes contain light-producing organs on the irises.
That is
causing
weird.
them to glow in the dark, like a deep-sea predator.
Oh,
Its
okay.
mouth contains 8 pointed teeth on both the upper and lower jaws.
That's
and
it?
a long 28-centimeter forked tongue.
Okay, this
The
thing
two
is just
tips of its
venom.
tongue each have a hollow needle-like organ that leads straight into its esophagus.
Oh,
More on what it
okay.
does with that specialized biological feature soon. Physically, SCP-015-IT is rather slight,
Yeah,
but it is
weak.
surprisingly strong.
Skips
and
leg
easily
day.
able to overpower an adult human.
Oh.
Its skinny arms are much longer than an average human's, and each of its 4 fingers ends in a razor-sharp claw. It has also been shown to be quite resistant to physical injuries, and possesses the ability to heal wounds and damage to internal organs at a hyper-accelerated rate.
Okay, so I need to see this thing, the boogeyman, versus Shy Guy. Comment down below who you think would win. Personally, I think Shy Guy, but I mean, this thing seems like Shy Guy, like maybe had a brother or something, and they seem very similar.
SCP-015-IT is primarily active at night, which is unsurprising given its skin's natural camouflage in the dark. The boogeyman hunts mammals, with humans being its preferred prey, but it does not feed on flesh. Instead, SCP-015-IT draws its sustenance from the adrenaline and noradrenaline produced by its quarry.
Oh.
Adrenaline and noradrenaline are chemicals the body produces to increase heart rate, blood flow, and provide more energy to the muscles in moments of stress.
So that's kind of like, I'm pretty sure, Pennywise from the movie and the book It, where he's not actually that dangerous if you're not scared of him. Like, he feeds off of fear and adrenaline and the fact that, like, he'll look at your worst fears and then scare you, and then that makes him more powerful. But if you're not scared of him, then he won't actually hurt you, which is pretty strange.
Or in the case of SCP-015-IT, extreme fear. And it has developed a hunting method to cause this exact reaction in humans. 015-IT will usually hide in dark spots, trying to keep out of sight as much as possible. As
That
it
makes
stalks
sense.
Its next victim.
Everybody is pretty scared of the
If it
dark.
has been able to remain unseen, it will wait for a moment when its prey has become distracted, so it can silently approach them. Once close enough, it will leap towards its unaware victim, grab them, and quickly bite them on the side of the torso, near where the adrenal gland is located. It uses its large teeth to anchor its mouth in place, as it uses the needles on its forked tongue to probe into their body.
No.
With one needle,
Ew.
it pierces directly into the adrenal gland and begins draining the blood that is now rich with
Wow.
fear-induced adrenaline. At the exact same time, the other needle releases a mild sedative, allowing 015-IT to feed and then depart without risk, as the victim remains immobile.
Wow.
Another anomalous...
So it doesn't even seem like the victims would die, right? I mean, like they got like a giant bite in their side, but it's kind of like a snake bite almost. Just like instead of with 2 teeth, 2 fangs, it's like 8 fangs in your body. It probably doesn't feel that great, but it doesn't look like this thing is like chomping away. It's more like just trying to grab you and then stick the needle in you, steal your adrenaline, and then just leave and then do it again. Like, it doesn't want to kill you, I don't think.
effect occurs when someone is unlucky enough to actually see the boogeyman. Roughly 2 weeks after observing the creature, the person who saw it will begin experiencing various detrimental mental effects, including hallucinations and panic attacks.
Okay,
Some
so it
will
does
also
infect
begin
your
to
mind.
Experience physical issues, most often damage to the cardiovascular system. It is unknown why exactly these mental and physical effects occur, but it is theorized that SCP-015-IT may use it as a way to weaken certain prey that it considers too strong or potentially dangerous.
That makes sense.
In 2011, the
whoa.
boogeyman was actually contained.
What?
Not by the SCP Foundation. The Brotherhood of St. George's Knights is a secret order in the Catholic Church that was created by the Pope in the year 453.
Okay.
To either contain or eliminate all anomalies.
So the church caught the boogeyman. Just to make that abundantly clear, the church, not the SCP Foundation. It was the church.
It was this group that first captured SCP-015-IT, which they designated as DIA-212, in line with their own classification system. While it was in their containment, they made a number of discoveries about the creature that they labeled as a shadow demon.
Look at it in the background.
First, they found that while it feeds on the fear of
gosh.
its victims by ingesting their blood, it doesn't actually require this to survive.
Oh?
DIA-212, as they call it, is an unstable entity, and feeding allows it to maintain its physical shape in our reality.
Okay.
In addition to its impressive physical strength, the boogeyman is also quite intelligent, as seen by its ability to successfully hunt, attack, and...
So I don't know if you guys caught that, but Dr. Bob said that it needs to feed to keep its form in our reality, which kind of makes me think that maybe this creature is not from our reality at all. Maybe it's from an alternate dimension, a parallel universe, and for whatever reason, or like, yeah, just it's not from here, but in order to stay here, it needs to feed, which is why it does.
Escape from humans. Strangely, it also appears to be resistant to weapons which have been blessed, causing only a fraction of the physical damage that they should when compared to a similar, non-holy version.
So this thing is a
During the
demon.
course of research into the creature, Father Ilardi, a member of the Brotherhood of St. George's Knights, wrote that despite the creature being repugnant beyond every limit, he believed that it had a gentle soul, and that its screams are similar to a pained cry. He postulated that SCP-015-IT may have even once been a human before some dark force transformed it into the monster that it had become.
No
He
way.
decided that it was his mission to find a way to communicate with the creature, and one day, bring it back into the light and love of his god. Father Ilardi was making good progress with the creature.
How?
And it seemed like it was even growing fond of him and his disciples.
What? No, guys. We already talked about how this thing is intelligent. This thing clearly understood what the pastor wanted, and then was just doing the things that it thought it had to do to get the trust of the pastor, so that he could just break out and then do the exact same thing all over again. Like, I think that it's actually way smarter than we think.
His advances were halted when they were attacked by a group of soldiers from the Fascist Council of the Occult,
Or
a
maybe
terrorist
not.
group that seeks to use anomalies as weapons in their quest to disrupt the social order. In the attack, several of the Brotherhood were killed, and in the commotion, SCP-015-IT escaped. Following this, reports soon began to come from the province of Caserta that described what sounded like vampire attacks. A mobile task force was
That's
sent to
the
area, and
boogeyman!
while 015-IT was initially able to make use of its various physical abilities to evade and escape capture, it was eventually shot with a transmitter that allowed it to be tracked.
What?
The Italian mobile task force was able to surround the creature, but fearing being contained again, it responded with a level of violence that it had not been thought capable of. Several members of the task force were killed in the line of duty before the boogeyman could finally be subdued.
Okay, so back to what I was saying earlier, I don't think the boogeyman is as strong as Shy Guy. Shy Guy, even though Shy Guy, I think, was contained, Shy Guy is a monster when it is trying to attack and hurt somebody else. Like, if you look at Shy Guy, it will literally be able to break out of anything, and it will find you and end you. But for Boogeyman, I don't think Boogeyman is, like, as powerful as Shy Guy anymore. But comment down below what you think.
Today, SCP-015-IT is contained at Site Vittoria in the Emilia-Romagna region of Italy. Since this anomaly is both sentient and highly unpredictable in its behavior, it has been classified as Euclid. It is kept in a standard humanoid entity containment cell and is monitored by video cameras and infrared sensors at all times. Due to the light-absorbing properties of its skin, its cell and the adjacent corridors are painted white and are to be kept well lit at all times.
Smart.
Twice a day, SCP-015-IT is given a normal domestic pig that it is allowed to feed on. Any personnel assigned to 015-IT duty must undergo a psychological assessment on a weekly basis, and, regardless of the results, must be cycled out after 3 months of exposure to the boogeyman.
Let's see. Okay, I thought this was about fart berries, not bears and pumas.
Wandering off the path and getting lost for days, the elements slowly withering you away to nothingness. There are plenty of ways you can die in the wilderness.
Yeah.
Few would expect death
Like
to come as a
fart
result
berries.
of a simple
Oh
bodily
no,
function
don't
with a
fart.
decidedly anomalous twist.
The bear will find you.
Springtime in the Sierra Nevada
I can't wait to see what happens.
is beautiful. The unpredictable storms of winter are a thing of the past, but the oppressive heat of summer hasn't yet crept in. The highest peaks of the mountains are still spotted with snow, but in the foothills, the wildflowers sprout from the earth, blooming in a
That's so
tapestry of
nice.
yellow,
I love
pink,
spring.
purple, and
Everything just
orange.
comes to life in
Crystal
spring.
clear waterfalls roar down the rocky mountainsides, water set free from its slumber by the melting ice as the world wakes up from a long hibernation. The summer vacation crowds haven't yet flooded the hiking trails and ski slopes, but a few groups of early adventurers can be spotted hiking through the mountains, taking in the sights and breathing in the fresh, fragrant air.
Okay, guys, so as you know, I like to make predictions in these SCP videos, and if I had to guess, we're going to come across a group of some of these people that are coming out in the spring. They're going around, they're going on some nice hikes, and every once in a while, you know, when you're hiking, you come across a berry bush. And I mean, I'm guilty of this. I have found like a little blueberry bush, and I'm like, oh, that looks delicious. Let me try to eat it, which I do not recommend because they could be poisonous. But I have a feeling that some of these guys or girls are going to come across these berries and they're going to have a little snack. And little do they know, these are the SCP fart berries. And then things are going to go extremely wrong from there.
Among these springtime visitors are a pair of young men, one with blonde hair and one with dark hair.
Okay.
Each wearing a small backpack
What's
and
up,
carrying
boys?
a canteen of water, not a scuff to be seen on their brand new hiking boots.
So they only
These
have
two young
water.
men are
They don't
on
have
their
any
senior
food.
Spring break from college, gleefully taking the hiking trip they have been talking about since they were
Whoa.
paired up as roommates their
That
freshman
is a
year.
big hiking trip.
Neither of these young men is especially experienced in hiking, but they have both spent dozens of hours in the library reading up on wilderness survival, on the best ways to pitch a tent and start a fire with nothing more than
Okay,
sticks
so they're
and
like
two
kind of
rocks.
prepared.
The lighter-haired of the two especially prides himself on his knowledge of foraging for edible wild plants.
Oh.
A skill he is excited to put to the test on this trip.
So he's going
His
to find the
dark-haired
berries.
companion is a bit more suspicious of wild plants, frightened by the stories of foraging gone wrong and unfortunate explorers confusing a delicious mushroom for one that stops the heart in minutes.
Yep, you
He has
literally
filled his bag
never
with
have any
provisions,
idea,
with
so you gotta
granola
be
and
extra
turkey,
careful.
Dried fruits, and cans of beans that he hopes his friend will share with him, rather than risking his safety by gambling on a wild root or berry. Still, his concerns about foraging are soon forgotten as the two proceed further along the trail, passing sparkling waterfalls, bighorn sheep grazing on wild plants, and a bird that just might be a bald eagle soaring by overhead.
Oh my gosh, dude,
The two
I would
are
love to be
lost
out
in the
there.
majesty of nature.
It looks
So lost,
amazing.
in fact, that they forget to eat until the sun is dipping over the horizon.
Okay,
and the
well,
world is growing dark around them.
Yeah, you should probably
Out
eat some
here
of
in
the
mountains,
granola
with
that you
no light
brought, or
pollution to
like the
speak
chocolate
of,
bars.
Dark is dark. Even with the help of the lanterns they brought, the two men can scarcely see well enough to put up their tents and build a small fire.
Okay, that was a
Still,
mistake.
They remember all of their reading.
So if you guys are ever out camping, pro tip, I'm surprised they didn't do this because they read up on how to camp. You're supposed to pitch your tent before it turns pitch black because it's so much more difficult to do it when you can't see anything.
and managed to set up a modest camp for the night.
Oh, it's actually pretty
The dark-haired
impressive.
man pulls a bag of beans from his backpack and begins to heat them over the flame. He offers some to his companion, but he refuses. The
Why?
blonde man has found a shrub that he
my
recognizes,
God.
weighed down with ripe fruit. This shrub, he explains to his friend, is a species of manzanita, an evergreen shrub that produces berries similar in flavor to little apples. The dark-haired man is dubious. Aren't manzanita berries typically red in color? These appear to be
Interesting.
a shade of brown. Wait. The young man reaches out and stops his friend just before he can pop the berries into his mouth. At least let me look them up on my phone. That won't work out here,
Wait,
his friend
what?
tells him. The government blocks access to the web out here. They don't want you on the internet. It's a big conspiracy. Everyone knows
Okay,
about it.
something's up with
Page
this guy.
unavailable. His friend is right. But wait, he has the ultimate tool to defeat this intrusion on his lunch.
Wait, is it like a VPN?
Surfshark
Wait
VPN.
a second, I've never seen a sponsor on a Dr. Bob video. What the heck? Do they know that they're sponsoring an SCP video about fart berries? That is hysterical.
The wannabe forager insists that he has correctly identified the plant and that these berries will be his dinner.
I don't
The
know. Why
dark-haired
would you
man
not just
shrugs
eat the
and
food
treats
that your
himself
friend
to
brought?
A meal of beans and dried apples, while his friend munches on handfuls of the brown berries. He has no complaints about the taste and does not immediately drop dead upon eating them, so perhaps he was right. These
Oh,
are manzanitas
no.
after all. As soon as the thought crosses the dark-haired man's mind, he sees his friend double over,
Oh my
clutching at his
gosh,
stomach
yo,
in
that was so
discomfort.
fast.
Afraid for his friend's safety, he rushes to his side, only to be met with a long, loud fart. The two share a laugh, the tension broken by a sudden smelly outburst, but the humor soon fades as the blonde man farts again.
He's still
and
going?
again and again.
Okay, he definitely pooped
All
his
through the
pants.
night, he continues to emit loud,
all through the
excruciatingly smelly
night?
farts. The
That's
smell
impressive,
permeates the campsite,
honestly.
seeping into the dark-haired man's tent, no matter how he tries to cover his nose with his sleeping bag.
Oh, that
He
is
doesn't
so
get a wink of
gross.
sleep, spending the night wide awake, staring at the ceiling
Dude,
of his
I
tent,
can't.
and silently
There's just
wishing for the relentless
a
stream of
fart
gas to
sound
stop.
constantly in my ears.
But it doesn't. It just carries on until the dark-haired man can scarcely remember a time when he wasn't listening to the maddening sound.
This
Again
is
and again
hysterical.
and again, the endless farts. He clenches his fists
That's so
until the knuckles
good.
turn white, clenches his jaw.
I would
and
totally
grinds his
eat
teeth.
these.
It's enough to drive a man
This is a
insane.
great
The
thing to
next
do to
morning,
prank
it
your
is still
friends.
happening. The blonde man expresses embarrassment, but does not apologize for ignoring his friend's warnings about the berries.
So he
tries to
slept
laugh
through
it
the
off,
night
but
while
the dark-haired man
farting.
does not join him in his laughter.
He was literally farting in his sleep for like 10 hours. That is awesome.
If he had only listened, they wouldn't be in this situation. They wouldn't be about to continue their hike with this rancid, gaseous albatross around their necks. As they pack up camp, the dark-haired man glances down at the tent pole in his hand. One good swing, and he could put a stop to the madness.
Oh my gosh, he's
No,
going to
it's
kill
ridiculous.
his friend
He shakes
just
his
for
head, clearing the
farting?
impulse from his mind. The gastrointestinal distress will pass soon, and they will be able to continue the trip like
Maybe
they
that's
planned.
part of it,
But
guys.
It doesn't pass. Nothing.
Maybe the SCP doesn't affect the person other than making them fart. Maybe it affects everybody around them by A, keeping them awake, and B, what if like the fart gas is different than normal farts? What if it's like a special chemical that makes you extremely angry and disgruntled and like super annoyed so that you kill the person that ate the berries? I could see that happening.
Nothing passes, but the gas itself. The blonde man asks if they can stop for water.
Did he
before
poop
they've even
yet?
been hiking for an hour.
You should try to
He
poop.
isn't feeling very well, he explains. He woke up dizzy and nauseated, disoriented from lying there all night, breathing in the fumes. The dark-haired man wants to say something, to retort that he too was suffering all night. But he doesn't. He just lets his friend stop to drink some water, and they proceed with the hike. Gone is the magic of the previous day, the time before the cursed berries. The men can no longer smell the wildflowers, the crisp mountain air.
They can only
There are no wild
smell
animals to be
fart
found,
gas.
Not a single ground squirrel or little bird. Up ahead on the trail, the dark-haired man catches the barest glimpse of a tail vanishing into the brush as a mountain lion runs the other way.
Okay, that's a little
Is
scary.
it fleeing from them? From the stench? He wouldn't blame the beast if it was. They have 5 more days of this planned, and he can feel his resolve beginning to fade. Maybe he can turn back and ask to cut the trip short now, but why should he have to
So
suffer
funny.
just because his friend made a mistake identifying a wild berry? It isn't fair. If he could just get a moment to think without the incessant farting, if he could just have 1 second
Oh my
of
gosh,
peace,
he's
maybe
actually
he could
getting
come up with a
so
solution.
mad.
But no respite comes. If anything, it only seems to get worse. The smell burns his nostrils. The sound rings in his ears.
Oh my gosh.
The blonde man tries to speak over it, to clear the air with pleasant conversation, but the dark-haired man brushes him off with grunts and shrugs. His eyes sting and water. He chokes on the stench. He knows
Wow,
in
it
his heart
really is
he
getting
can't
worse.
take much more of this. When the men make camp for the night again, the dark-haired man's thoughts turn dark. He could just leave in the dead of night while his friend is sleeping, rush off into the wilderness and abandon his companion there, freeing himself from the farts. He tries
Freeing
to justify it to
himself from the
They both have the
farts.
survival skills to make it. He'll be fine. His thoughts of leaving his friend alone in the woods are interrupted by the
What?
sound of chewing. Is there any animal nearby?
Wait a
No,
second.
Surely no animal would approach, given the smell. He
Okay.
takes a look in the blonde man's
I'm a little
tent
bit
and
nervous.
finds his friend eating another handful of those same brown berries.
No.
The dark-haired man flies into a rage,
What?
unable to contain his fury. How could he do this? How could he eat more of them after what happened the first time?
Okay, either this guy loves these berries or the berries make you want to eat more of them, which is why he's doing it. Or he really likes farting. I guess that's the third option.
Doesn't he understand what this is doing to him, what it's doing to the both of them?
He got caught red-handed.
Selfish?
That's
The
so
blonde man
funny.
insists that it's fine, that the farting can't possibly be related to the berries.
Well,
because
yeah,
manzanitas don't
it
cause that
definitely
sort of
is.
thing. At this, something in the dark-haired man snaps. He can't take it anymore.
Oh my God, he's gonna
He
kill
turns away
him.
from the tent, throwing up his hands and telling the blonde man to find his own way back. They'll split up from here. The blonde man emerges from his tent, begging his friend not
Look
to
at the
cast him out.
fumes.
He's certain the farting will stop any day now. At
Any
this,
day?
It seems to grow louder, more potent. The dark-haired
He's starting
man
to
spots a
charge
large
up his
rock by the
farts.
campfire,
Oh my
small
God,
enough to
no.
hold in his hand, hefty enough to do some real damage.
Wait, there's no way he's about to
He
kill
picks
his
it up
friend
and
over some
turns to meet his
farts.
friend. Without thinking, he swings the rock at the blonde man's head.
What?
For the first time in days, the sound of farts goes silent. The air
He
smells
killed
sweet,
him
like
over
flowers, leaves,
farts.
and campfire smoke. He did what he had to do.
I don't know about
The
that
dark-haired
one.
man lets out a sigh of relief, the rock falling from his hand. He glances at the rock on
Wow.
the ground, at the blood dripping down its surface, and realizes the full weight
Well, yeah,
of what he
you
has
just
done.
killed a man for
He packs up the
farting.
campsite as quickly as he can, douses the fire, and dumps the body over the
Oh
edge
my
of
God.
a nearby cliff.
Is it gonna fart on the way
The
down?
next few days, he hikes back the way he and his friend came, noticing, in spite of his gnawing guilt, that the walk really is so much better without those damned farts. On the way,
He looks
passes
so
that
much
bush,
happier.
That horrible bush, weighed down by the fruit that destroyed his spring break.
Oh no,
trip,
he's gonna
that
do it.
Destroyed his friend's life.
He's gonna do
He
it.
opens his backpack, tearing a page from one of his books and grabbing a pen. He scribbles a warning: no matter what,
Oh my gosh.
do not eat these berries, and affixes it to the bush.
I would take a few
He can
back
only
with
hope that
me.
the
You
next
know,
person
it
to
could be a
stumble on
cool
this shrub
prank.
will see the note and heed its warning. If they don't, they might meet a similar fate. Days later, the park rangers discover the blonde man's
Oh,
body
okay.
and declare the death an accident.
We're back to the
caused
start
when
of
man
the
fell over
video.
side of the cliff. Some of them suspect foul play, but are unable to find any evidence. All they can find is a strange note on an unidentified shrub and the faintest smell of something foul, like rotten eggs. The two doomed hikers had no way of knowing this, but the fruit they foraged was not from the Manzanita family. It was from a plant known as SCP-4032.
Fart berries.
SCP-4032 is a wide, deciduous shrub characterized by a rounded crown and wider base. It produces a distinct, small, round brown fruit that has been designated SCP-4032-1.
I mean, guys, this has to be the weirdest SCP we've ever seen.
Of SCP-4032-1, this meal will result in intense gastrointestinal distress. I will try to describe this as delicately as I possibly can, but as I have learned over the years in my line of work, the truth is rarely delicate or polite.
Tell me more about the
1 hour following
dingleberries.
the consumption of an SCP-4032-1 instance, the person or animal will begin to emit an excessive amount of flatulence, consisting of elevated hydrogen sulfide levels and a small but detectable amount of methane gas.
Okay,
Perhaps
that
you are
seems like a
familiar
normal
with an old
fart.
rhyming song about the wonders of beans, the magical fruit. These berries
Yes.
function quite similarly. The more one eats, the more one does, in fact, for want of a better word, toot. However, unlike the second part of the bean-based rhyme,
Toot berries.
these fruits do not cause their unfortunate consumers to feel better, nor should they be eaten at every or any meal. The Foundation first
Interesting,
discovered
okay.
SCP-4032 on April 2nd, 2018, after a man named Anthony Green happened upon the plant in the foothills of Northern California. Hungry enough to forget his better judgment, Anthony ate some of the fruit and became immediately concerned
Oh,
for
no.
his physical well-being.
The more you eat, the more you toot.
SCP-4032's effects began to take hold. Fearing he had unknowingly consumed a poisonous plant, he made a distress call to the local search and rescue team. This call was intercepted by Foundation operatives, who swiftly arrived at the scene to bring both Anthony and the
Wait,
plant
why?
itself into custody.
Why would they...
The affected individual will continue.
Why would they go after this guy, the SCP Foundation, literally because he called somebody saying, hey, I think I got like poisoned by these berries that are making me fart? I guess maybe they had prior knowledge of this SCP, but yeah. I can't even imagine how somebody thought of this and was like, hey, yeah, this is an SCP after all. Yeah, they're just berries that make you pass gas constantly.
Continue to produce this.
I wonder if it ever goes
flatulence until they
away.
Have expired. Both starvation and dehydration have no impact on the flatulence, and no identifiable source of the gaseous output has been detected via endoscopy.
Ew, where
If
does
an
that go?
affected individual finds themselves in an area without adequate ventilation, they will gradually begin to experience symptoms brought on by hydrogen sulfide poisoning, including
Oh
but
my
not
gosh.
limited to conjunctivitis.
You could
respiratory
literally kill
irritation and
yourself
coughing,
with
loss
your
of
own
smell,
farts.
and eventually pulmonary edema.
They
and
are
death.
deadly fart
Shortly
berries.
following SCP-4032's discovery, Dr. Logari began conducting a thorough observation of Anthony Green, referred to as D-14478 for the purposes of official documentation.
Oh, he became
as
a
he suffered
T-class
from the
personnel.
effects of consuming
Wow.
SCP-4032-1. First, he was brought in for observation and placed in cell 14B on the outside of Site 88. Dr. Logari noted copious amounts of flatulence being emitted by the subject, with high levels of hydrogen sulfide and
Oh my
methane.
gosh, they're so bad.
5
You can
hours later,
see
The
them.
subject was complaining about gas buildup in his cell, and the interior venting hood was activated. 3 hours and over 50 complaints later, maintenance staff deactivated the interior venting hood and opened exterior windows.
That's so
in an
funny.
attempt to quell some of the relentless flatulence.
Dude, they're making everybody so sick.
D-14478 was placed on an intravenous diet. After 2 days on the intravenous diet and no changes to the subject's gas emissions, medical staff conducted an endoscopy, which revealed that the colon was clear and there were no
So,
visible signs of rectal gas.
where did
The
it
following day,
go?
a staff meeting was held in order to discuss the impact of D-14478's condition on the quality of life at the facility. Both residents and researchers alike had complained about the persistent smell, which
Okay, obviously nobody likes the smell, but we haven't answered the best question. Like, how many of these do you need to eat? Is it just one and then you're gonna fart forever? Or do you have to eat like 10 of these and then you're gonna have crazy gas for the rest of your life? Or if you just keep eating more, does it keep getting more like aggressive? Are your farts going to be nuclear farts if I eat like 69 berries? These are the answers that I need.
they were unable to escape and was permeating the air outside as well as throughout the interior of the building. Several options were proposed, including relocation, treatment, and failing all else, termination of the
Oh, you're gonna
subject.
kill him over
A
the fart.
resolution was passed
I guess
to
that would be the
house
first time we saw that.
D14478 in an outdoor facility until proper filtering equipment could be installed. A little over a week later, Foundation agents intercepted reports from nearby environmental watch groups concerning
What?
an increase in airborne pollution in the central Alabama area.
Are you
around
kidding
Site
me?
88,
So it
with
does get worse.
D14478's condition threatening not only the morale at Site 88, but the environment itself.
Holy
An additional
smokes.
resolution was passed in order to transfer D14478 into an experimental air filtering cell. The cell had not yet passed a safety inspection.
Okay, so he's
Those with
probably
objections
going
were
to die.
overruled by the vote of the majority. The following day, subject D14478 was found dead in
Oh,
his
but
cell.
yeah, you saw
An
that coming a
investigation
mile
into the cause
away.
of death determined that the primary filter was improperly constructed.
Yup.
And both it and its associated sensor had malfunctioned.
Oh, wow.
There was one silver lining to this unfortunate incident,
The
however.
fart
The
stopped.
effects of SCP-4032-1 mercifully ceased following the subject's death.
Oh my
The
gosh.
post-mortem report was filed with the Ethics Committee, and Dr. Lugari was placed on temporary administrative leave. Meanwhile, a large order of scented candles was placed by the staff of Site 88.
This
And soon,
SCP is
the
so
unpleasant odor
ridiculous.
was replaced with
I love
smells
it.
of lavender, vanilla, sugar, and pine. In Dr. Lugari's absence, Dr. Carlisle was appointed to the position of lead researcher on SCP-4032. Following the approval of the Ethics Committee, Dr. Carlisle began conducting a series of animal tests using SCP-4032.
Oh.
The first test subject
Does it
selected
work on
was
animals?
The Araucanian herring. An instance of
Do fish fart?
SCP-4032-1 was crushed and added to a mix of copepods and krill, which were then fed to a small school of herring. 15 minutes after the consumption of SCP-4032-1, the herring's
Oh my
usual
God.
flatus production increased dramatically.
I didn't
This
realize
caused great
fish
distress to the
fart.
school of fish, as this species ordinarily uses flatulence as a means of communication.
That's so funny.
Samples
Wait,
of the
wait,
flat-
did he just say that they fart to communicate? I feel like we should start trying this as a human population.
Were taken and analyzed, and were found to contain hydrogen sulfide and methane, though the levels of both were lower than they had been in human subjects. 3 hours after their initial feeding, the herring were euthanized and taken for autopsy and chemical analysis. There was no post-mortem evidence found of SCP-4032-1's effects.
That's so
Next,
weird.
a flock of chickens was selected
Oh,
for
no.
testing. They were offered a handful of SCP-4032-1
These poor
directly,
chickens.
which they refused to taste.
Good.
The fruit was then crushed and added to chicken feed.
Oh, no.
which was
They've
fed to the
been
chickens
tricked.
With great success.
They've
2
been
hours
tricked
after
by the
eating
fart berries.
SCP-4032-1, all of the chickens began to emit gas containing low levels of methane and hydrogen sulfide. The chickens were promptly euthanized and taken
No!
for analysis.
Poor
An autopsy
chickies.
determined that the bird's short intestinal tracts were distended. This
does that
marked
mean?
the first
Does
recorded
anybody know what that
visible
means?
sign of the fruit's impact on a test subject. The next animals selected
Oh
for
my
testing
God.
were brown-throated three-toed sloths. This particular species was chosen due to its lack of flatulence, as these sloths
They
tend to absorb
don't
flatus
fart?
and release it through their lungs rather than rectally.
Oh, so they breathe
Fruit
out
was offered
farts?
directly at first, but
Interesting.
the sloths rejected it. The fruit was then crushed and ground.
So it
with
looks
a
like
mixture of
animals
tree
are
leaves
smarter than
and fed
humans when
the
it comes to
sloths.
eating the fart berries.
Whatever happened next has been redacted from the official Foundation file.
Wait,
But
what?
it was disturbing enough to bring a grinding halt to any and all future testing of
Okay, I have a theory that since sloths don't fart usually, they usually breathe it out, that maybe it just like didn't have anywhere to go and all of the gas built up and then the sloth exploded in like a giant nuclear fart. That's what I'm thinking.
SCP-4032 on large mammals. Any potential animal experiments involving SCP-4032 must be approved by the Ethics Committee in order to prevent another, quote, sloth
incident.
SCP-4032
Sloth
has been
incident.
contained in a cordoned-off portion of the research gardens at Site 67, which consists of the area around SCP-4032's original location. This land was purchased by the Foundation, and a research facility disguised as a personal estate was constructed there. SCP-4032, along with several other anomalous plants, is kept in the garden portion of the site. All instances of SCP-4032-1 are to be gathered from the ground on a daily basis
And then what?
incinerated
Oh,
on site.
okay, yeah, that's
Any
probably for the
employees
best.
found to be using the berries for unapproved personal purposes will be
what?
suspended or terminated from their positions.
He literally
If any
got
animals
caught
wander
with a
onto the grounds
fart
that consume
berry.
the berries,
That's
they
so
must be
embarrassing.
captured and euthanized, and their bodies
wow.
incinerated.
Oh wow, okay, that's a
Though there
little
is currently
aggressive.
only one known specimen of SCP-4032, the Foundation has a contingency
I thought there were
plan in
two.
place should any additional specimens be discovered. If this happens, Mobile Task Force Alpha 67 Weed Whackers will be dispatched to the specimen's location, where they will uproot it and bring it back to Site 67 to be contained. Any humans that consume an instance of SCP-4032-1 must be contained in holding cells B1 through B5 along the outer perimeter of Site 67. Each of these cells is equipped with 3 air filters containing Thiobacillus thioparus, chemolithoatrophic sulfur-oxidizing bacteria.
Is he speaking
embedded in a
English?
mixture of peat and polyurethane. Each filter
Okay.
also contains sensors intended to detect hydrogen sulfide and methane. When the sensors are activated, members of Mobile Task Force Alpha 13, Odor Eaters, are dispatched to
Odor
escort the affected
Eaters.
individual outside.
That's
until
such
the
a
filters
funny
in their cell
nickname.
can be repaired.
Fart
Currently,
Eaters.
The Foundation does not believe there to be any additional specimens of SCP-4032 in the wild. However, there is no way to be certain of this, due to the plant's relatively unassuming appearance and the lack of any information on its origins. It is entirely possible that there are more of these shrubs just waiting to be discovered by an unfortunate hiker wandering off the beaten path. So if you find yourself out in nature with an empty stomach, make sure that you have accurately
Nope.
identified any
I
of the
will
wild
not be
plants you
eating it.
consume. If you don't, you may be met with a fate that is silent but deadly.
Here we go, boys.
An Air Canada flight experiences severe malfunction.
Oh, they are going down, dude. They are going all the way down to the ground.
Unable to do anything, and the plane
Look at them
crashes into the
panicking.
woods of northern Alberta. The crash was devastating. Only 10 of the nearly 300 people on board are alive.
Oh my gosh,
And even
dude.
though they survived the initial
Are you
disaster,
serious?
their battle for life has only just begun.
This is like the
It's
plot
late
of the
autumn
TV
in
show
northern
Lost.
Canada, and there's no telling when help will arrive, if at all. If the survivors want to make it through the night, they need to find shelter, and fast.
I feel
As they
so
trudge through
bad
the
for these
freezing
people.
woods, the group finds a path that looks like it might lead them to civilization. After all, if there was a path in the woods, that meant they were probably in a national park. And if they were in a national park, there had to be a ranger station
Oh,
around
yeah,
somewhere
good
where they could
thinking.
warm up and call for help.
Okay, guys, comment down below what you would do if you were in a plane crash and you were with like a bunch of random strangers in the middle of nowhere. Would you stay and wait for help, or would you try to venture out into the wilderness and try to find maybe fresh water, maybe some food, or maybe even people that can go get help for you? Let me know in the comments.
They didn't have many other options, so they followed the path which opened up to a clearing. But instead of finding a ranger station or campground, they found something none of them could have expected.
It's the
It was a
red
pond,
pool.
but there was
No.
something off about it.
Guys,
As they got
imagine
closer,
being
they
in
saw
a
that the
plane crash and then you
pond
run into
wasn't
one of the
filled with
deadliest
water,
SCPs of all
but
time.
blood.
That is
The
so scary.
survivors were horrified. That couldn't really be blood, could it? It must have been a weird algae or chemical reaction. But one member of the group, a man named Thomas Dean, who had been on his way back to his hometown of Prince George, British Columbia.
Is he like some sort of
thought there
SCP
was something
expert?
strangely familiar about this.
Interesting.
He remembered being a boy and going to visit family in Alberta, and hearing an urban legend from the older local kids. According to the stories, somewhere out in the wilderness, in the northern part of the province, there was a pond full of human blood. And what made it even
What?
worse was that some said the pond was a gateway to hell. The SCP Foundation
That is exactly what it is, ladies and gentlemen.
And had been trying to pinpoint the exact source of it for decades prior to the Air Canada crash. They would finally receive definite confirmation of the blood pond when Foundation personnel intercepted a radio transmission from a ranger station located within the Wood Buffalo National Park. It was the survivors of the crash who had managed to make it through the night. And
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so these people obviously survived, but the one guy that heard of the urban legend, he actually is spot on. This SCP, for those of you guys that don't know, actually can spawn in other SCPs. They're like a subclass of this SCP, so there's SCP-354-1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and some of them are like as crazy as you can think. So these people are in for a rude awakening. I do not want to be these people. I feel so bad for them.
they were about to be escorted out of the park by rangers. The Foundation mobilized quickly to cordon off the pond, as at the time they were unsure of what potentially harmful properties the pond might have had. They set up watch station.
Oh, wow, so the people actually got out okay. That's amazing.
The pond was given the designation of SCP-354 and classed as Euclid. Foundation scientists made a number.
So for those of you guys that haven't seen an SCP video, Euclid class basically means that it's like a neutral sort of thing. It's kind of like a Minecraft spider. If you leave it alone and stay away from it, it's not going to do anything to you. But if you engage with it, it has the potential to turn deadly.
of interesting discoveries about SCP-354 when they collected samples for testing. First, the pond was not in fact full of blood.
What actually
Merely
is
an
it?
Organic liquid that closely resembles blood in color and consistency.
Oh, weird.
Second, and even stranger than the red liquid, is that the pond doesn't seem to have any definite banks or a bottom. Instead,
There's
the liquid
no
in the pond increases
bottom?
in density as the radius away from the center increases. The liquid congeals at the edges, becoming more solid and blending into the surrounding soil.
Oh, wow. So this
It
could,
also
like, take
becomes thicker
over
as one
the
descends deeper
world.
into the pool.
Honestly,
And the
it's
bottom of
infinite.
the pond has not yet been reached, if it even exists.
Whoa.
Initially, the Foundation found no signs of life within the blood pond.
Until
but that would all change at
something
2:03 p.m.
happens.
on the day following the
Yup.
opening of Watch Station
Oh, I'm ready
Epsilon
for this.
38. When the science team noticed an unusual level of activity on the pond's surface, security footage feeds showed a shape
There's the
rising out of
first
pond,
creature.
followed by a deafening shriek. After that, the feed was cut and Foundation lost all communication with Watch Station Epsilon 38. Fearing the worst, a mobile task force was dispatched to the location. When they got there, all personnel from Watch Station had been killed by what could only be described as a gigantic bat.
That
The
thing
task
is
force was
huge.
able
That's
to
like the size
neutralize
of
the entity,
5 people.
and as soon as they could, the Foundation moved in to increase security around the SCP.
I mean, yeah,
creating
that's the
Area
smartest thing to do.
354 and installing a permanent security detail. After this point, the pond started to regularly spit out a variety of monstrous entities, almost as if it was reacting to the SCP Foundation's increased security measures. After SCP-354-1, the giant bat, came SCP-354-2.
They get even worse.
354-2 was an echidna-like monster the size of a bear.
Wait, is that like
was
an
virtually
armadillo?
bulletproof but unable to escape
What?
Area 354. The Foundation neutralized this anomaly with napalm. SCP-354-3 was a floating
Okay,
black
what
sphere
is
capable
that?
of firing deadly beams of concentrated energy. The area's head scientist was able to hit it with a sledgehammer, causing the sphere to malfunction and self-destruct before it was able to escape.
Okay, guys, the first two kind of made sense. You know, they were like animals, or at least like variations of animals. There was a bat, there was like a bear-like armadillo. This one is a lot different. So I thought for a second that this SCP only spit out like really, I don't know, like Godzilla forms of like normal animals, like just giant versions of any type of animal that we already know about. But this one's different. This one is like a cyborg sphere that has electric abilities. So I wonder like how it decides what to send out from the red pool.
Area. The Foundation wasn't as lucky with SCP-354-4.
Is that a dragon?
This creature was a reptilian humanoid that stood roughly 15 feet tall and was unable to be
It's
put
Joe
down
Biden.
with gunfire. This was the first creature from the pond to
Oh my
successfully
God.
escape containment and was only
You
able to
gotta be
neutralized
kidding me.
when the Foundation sent in Mobile Task Force Omega-7, also known as
Oh,
Pandora's
nice.
Box. The data on pond incursions is partially corrupted, so a complete list of creatures is not available.
I do know for a fact that there's more than just 4 creatures. So they said that the list is not available. There are definitely more creatures from the red pool. I know for a fact too, I'm pretty sure there's like some sort of fire and ice tiger. So I'm curious if we're going to see that. I also am pretty sure that there might be some sort of like Terminator cyborg that comes out of the red pool.
But some of the other monsters
Yup,
that came out of the
there it
blood
is.
pond included
Literally,
killer robot,
as I
a
said
set of
it.
gigantic
And the
tentacles that dragged
octopus.
several D-class personnel into the pond. A pair of panther-like creatures,
There it is.
one made of ice and the other of magma, that ignored Foundation staff and instead fought each other.
What
And
is
one
this
seemingly
dude?
normal human man who was
Huh?
executed as soon as he emerged from the pond.
He walked up like, hey guys, I've been stuck there for years. I'm totally normal. And they were like,
Not a chance. Boom. You're dead.
Tests on his body revealed that he was, in fact,
Oh my
totally normal
gosh, he
and
was
would have
normal?
posed no threat.
You gotta
These
be
anomalies
kidding
came
me.
out of the pond at fairly regular intervals for several months, before the pond went silent for an unprecedented 22 months. The head scientist
so
at the time
weird and
noted,
random.
I suspect this means one of two things. Either the red pool has died or powered down,
Huh.
whatever the correct term for
There's
it
no
is,
way that it
or is
died.
charging up for something big to
I
come through.
feel like it
Although
might
I
be
believe
charging
the
up.
former is the most likely explanation, and has recalled 30% of our total personnel and cut 25%
Really?
of our funding.
So they think that
While
it's
I can only
powering
hope
down.
that they are correct. If the latter situation is true, we're soon to face some terrible monstrosity, and we won't have anywhere near the force necessary to deal with it.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure that the most deadly thing to come out of the red pool are like these giant octopus tentacles. That's like the biggest thing that I know of that comes out of the red pool. But what they're saying is that it might be powering up
to unleash something even bigger.
I worry for all of our safety. His words would prove eerily prophetic following the events of exploratory mission 354 Alpha. The Foundation's research and development team built a specialized craft to explore the pond. Because of the strange properties of the pond's density,
it has a drill
the craft
on
was
it?
essentially made to be both
That's
a submarine
sick.
for parts of the pond where the contents were liquid, and a drill for when the liquid congealed into a semi-solid towards the bottom. The exploration team consisted of Agent Swanson, Agent Turquoise,
they all
Agent
dead.
86,
They all
Dr.
gonna
J.
die.
MacArthur, Chris
R.I.P.
Simmons, Leroy Tucker, and a pilot named
Who is
Martin.
Agent
With the team
86?
assembled,
That's such
the
a
ship was
random
sent
name.
down into
That's
the
like
pond.
Elon Musk's
Nothing
son.
eventful happened for the first 2 days of the mission, but at 4:30 a.m. on the third day, gravity
Whoa.
suddenly reversed for the crew of the ship. This
Wait
seemed
a
to indicate
second.
that they were approaching the halfway point, though what would be on the other
Gravity
side, nobody
went
could say.
away?
On the fourth day, the ship
Huh?
surfaced, proving
Wait,
definitely
what?
that the pond was in fact some sort of portal. The crew looked out of the portholes to see the darkness of night above them. While sensors outside the
Hold
ship
on.
detected nothing harmful in the atmosphere around them, the crew were wary of exiting the
So it really is just a portal to a different SCP dimension that has these insane creatures. It's kind of like the Upside Down in Stranger Things.
craft. The other side of the pond was nothing like the world the crew knew. For one thing, the night lasted for 28 hours before dawn came, and when the sun finally rose, it was much larger and redder than the Earth's sun.
That's their
Under the light
sun.
of the strange
Holy
red star,
smokes.
The crew could see that the pond on this side was massive compared to what they've come into, more like a large lake. Surrounding the lake was sand and rocks that were covered in a kind of moss that disappeared under sunlight and regrew during the night. The team left the ship and started to explore. During
Wait.
their time in this-
They left the ship? Did they not see the creatures coming out from the other side of this? Like, they should be way more prepared. I know that they have like this like top awesome secret agent task force, but like seriously, they should be bringing like way more than just 8 agents. They should have like SEAL Team 6 in there.
A strange world, they found that the day lasted just a few hours shorter than the night, meaning that whatever planet they were on had a roughly 43-hour-long rotation as opposed to our own planet's 24.
So
The
it has
team
to be a
found
lot
number of
bigger than
anomalous
planet
elements
Earth.
on their expedition, including razor-sharp grass that can puncture skin and streams of liquid carbon dioxide.
Okay, that's
They heard some
terrifying.
loud roars in the distance once or twice, but other than that, the planet was eerily silent, with seemingly no animal life and not even wind.
I mean,
When it
something
rained,
really
the
bad is
soil
about to
ran
happen.
dry, and based on that, the scientists theorized the plants in this world were more efficient at absorbing moisture. On the 25th day, the team ran into a huge metal wall that appeared to be artificially constructed. Luckily, Leroy Tucker, a quick-thinking researcher, was able to rig a blowtorch from camping supplies and melt a hole
What?
through the metal. On the other
Okay.
side, there was finally
Guys, I
wood.
feel like these SCP investigator dudes are like way too comfortable right now. They are going into the unknown, and I don't see a single AK-47 on any one of these guys.
and odd black grass. That's the extent of what is known about the other side of the wall.
That's it?
Because the expedition logs are heavily corrupted after that point. But we know that whatever was in there wasn't good, because the team never returned. Strangely,
Okay, so
there's
they
no
saw
record of any
something
names
horrible.
mentioned in the ship's log, almost as if being killed on the other side completely erased them from history. No other expeditions into the
wait,
pond were launched
they-
after that.
did
On
they
an
die
undisclosed
there?
Day, a year following the discovery of the Blood Pond and construction of Area 354, the site was completely evacuated, and power was cut to the area. Mobile task force
Wait a second. They completely abandoned the site where like these underground purgatory monsters were coming out of. I feel like that is, I don't know, a little bit weird. They should definitely leave at least a few people there to monitor the situation. Like, what if actual, like, I don't know, the devil comes out of there, or Godzilla, or something even worse than those two combined? Like, somebody should be there just in case.
The 12 was dispatched to investigate the cause of the evacuation, but before contact could be established, the area's on-site nuclear warhead was detonated.
They have a
completely
nuke?
destroying the site.
Wait, but
MTF Theta
what
12
about
was
the
then
Red
attacked
Pool?
by a convoy made up of D-class and other low-ranking staff who
Wait,
had evacuated
what?
Area 354.
Guys,
It
I've
was
never seen
apparent
this.
that there
They're
had been
fighting
some
each
kind of
other.
mutiny within the site, and that a dissolution of the chain of command had led to its evacuation and
I've
destruction.
never seen this
the
before.
convoy totally annihilated MTF Theta 12.
Are you serious?
And no further contact with the former personnel of Area 354 has been made since.
Dude,
Following
this
the
is
site's
crazy.
detonation, a new site was constructed called simply the Red Pool Containment Site. Unlike the previous facility, which focused on research and neutralization, the new site is entirely concerned with containment.
I mean,
The
yeah,
shift
that's
in directive
smart.
Came as a response to the pond's apparent reactive nature. Each creature that emerged from the pond seemed to be in retaliation to the Foundation's actions, and it
So, okay, what they're saying is that as long as they leave the pond alone, that it won't attack them, which is why it's a Euclid class. As long as you leave anything that's like a Euclid class alone, then it won't try to fight back.
It's theorized by some that the mutiny at Area 354 was triggered by some kind of psychic attack from the pond itself. An interview in the SCP file on 354 reveals that there was one more disastrous attempt to control and understand.
Oh boy, here we go.
According to an interview with a Foundation agent, the head doctor proposed a scheme to drain the blood pond using a system of pumps and hoses.
That's a
All
horrible
non-essential
idea.
Personnel were evacuated in case of emergency, leaving only the pump technicians, D-class personnel,
They're dead.
and a few agents.
They're
for
gonna
security.
die. They're gonna
However,
perish.
As soon as the pump was
They're gonna get
scheduled to be
yeeted.
turned on, everyone at the site experienced a mass dissociative episode. The
Okay, so
agent
the red pool does have some sort of psychic property. I don't know if it's maybe like a chemical that it releases or what, but it can take over your mind on top of releasing the most crazy creatures of all time. This thing is honestly, this is one of the craziest SCPs that we've ever investigated.
described the feeling they all experienced as like being in a dream and suddenly realizing that you're asleep. He said, "Everything stopped being real. It was like we had to escape right now." When asked what happened when the pump was turned on, he simply explained that it wouldn't let them. This interview confirmed the theory
Wow.
that the pond is not only capable of releasing monsters out into our world, but also that it's capable of powerful but much more subtle psychological attacks. This suggests a chilling possibility that the pond isn't just blindly reacting to being attacked, but it's fully sentient. And the actions of the SCP
Oh my
Foundation
gosh.
have only served to annoy it.
It has like
And
a
worse,
brain,
studies
and it
of the
can
pond's
think.
banks have proved evidence that the area of congealed liquid around the perimeter of the pond has been steadily expanding. That's right.
Okay, so
the
it's-
pond is
it's
getting
going to
bigger.
take over
last
the
thing
world,
Foundation
is what
agent
I'm
stationed
hearing.
At the site said before being dragged out of the interview and sedated was, "It gets bigger and stronger every day, and now we've made it angry."